Every piece industry with their award-winning line of upholstered furniture. They have built a reputation for their value and design leadership with furniture of the finest quality. We would love for you to come and browse our extensive inventory and see for yourself. Smith Brothers, now available at Adirondack Home Furniture. Stop in today. Adirondack Home Furniture in the Riverside Center, North Utica, or at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com. Create the home of your dreams with Smith Brothers and Adirondack Home Furniture. 315-738-7817.
Warner Sales and Service. Building relationships, building trust.
This is Lynn from Warner Sales and Service. Mow like a pro with Hustler Turf Zero-Turn Mowers. Hustler mowers are designed to be maintenance and service-friendly for the everyday homeowner while not sacrificing the build and cut quality they're known for. From the heavy-duty frame to the welded steel deck to their trademark smooth track steering, Hustler Turf Zero-Turn Mowers deliver professional-grade cut quality for a perfectly manicured lawn. It's your chance to be the envy of your neighborhood. Come see us at Warner Sales and Service on the Greenway New London Road in Rome, just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona. And we'll guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at WarnerSS.com.
Warner's, where quality still counts. At Warner's.
Power Sports of Utica is holding its grand opening event on the 28th and 29th of April. We have over 350 vehicles in stock and incoming for you to see. Come celebrate with us at the store over great food, drink, and entertainment. We can't wait to see you there.
It's our Power Sports of Utica grand opening, April 28th and 29th, with over 150 new and used Harley-Davidsons in our pool. 0% down, 3.99 APR on select Harleys. Grand opening discounts on boots, helmets, shirts, and apparel.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Sun coming up here this morning, 6:39. We've got some clouds out there, but looking like a great start. A high today of 86 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
That's according to Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint. So a little taste of summer coming early here this morning, although things will cool off again next week.
One thing I wanted to ask you, speaking of baseball, have you umped your first?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Not yet. It's next Thursday.
Wow, okay. Make sure you remind me. I'll put it in the calendar, and I'll hold a sign for you.
Well, I'm a new guy.
Go, Blue, go.
I'm a new guy, so there's you better pack a bag lunch. There's some road tripping going on.
Where you got to go?
I don't want to say yet because I don't want to jinx it, but I might be out of our listening area.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's okay. I don't mind, though. I really don't
listen,
mind.
you got to pay the dues. You got to do the thing, and you'll be doing the local games in no time.
Then
it's off to the majors.
I can confirm he's here this morning. The awesome Trump impersonator, Bob DiBuono, performing at Fat Katz this weekend. He'll be in with Andrew and I in just a minute. But former President Trump, the real one, gave his second deposition at the Attorney General's office yesterday. Or maybe, is that coming today?
He was in the city yesterday, I do believe.
We will get full details from Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Good morning, Tanya. How are you?
Hey, good morning. Yes, it was yesterday.
So, yes, this is now the second time, and I guess I just wasn't sure as I looked at the sheet here. I thought I was getting ahead of myself.
Before we get into the boring stuff, hello, Tanya. I miss you. It's good to talk to you. I'm only here temporarily. Don't worry.
No, I was about to get very excited and go, oh, my gosh, are you back? Oh my gosh. And I was just going to fangirl, and it was going to be very embarrassing, but I was going to do it.
Oh, well, that would have been one of you.
It's good to hear your voice.
No, it's good to hear your – well, I hear you still when I listen, but it's always good to talk to you. And what do we know about the latest depot, as they say in the legal biz?
Is that what they say?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, here's what we know. We know that he went and before this, deposition yesterday, sat for this over several hours. Matter of fact, it was somewhere around 7. I think New York State has a law that you can only hold a deposition for 7 hours. So it was between 7 and 8 hours that he was there, but they probably took some breaks But anyway, it was quite a substantial amount of time. There was a big difference between this deposition that we understand and the one that he did in August in the same thing. Before we go any further, let me explain. This is not the same as last week's Manhattan DA arraignment on the 34 felony charges.
Right.
This is a whole separate legal issue that is with the Attorney General Letitia James. Her lawsuit against him claims that he and his family misled banks and business associates, gave them false information about his net worth, the value of his assets, the hotels, the golf courses, all of that. So that's what this has to do with, because it's easy to kind of get in the weeds with a lot of this, and it's confusing. But that's what this is, unrelated to the thing last week. His previous deposition was in August. During that one, that's the one you may recall where he pleaded the fifth and said he was not going to, incriminate himself, and did this 400 times.
Yeah. Okay.
During the deposition, he refused to answer anything but like procedural questions. This one was different because he actually answered, way more questions than in that one. I think it's very interesting that, there was at least some substantive answers apparently with this one. It was done in private, so we're kind of relying on, reporting that's sort of out there from the Associated Press, the New York Times, the, other outlets and things like that. But this is, this has more to do with his business and his children and the value of assets. That's kind of what this one centers around. Got it.
It's always confusing to me, too, because, at least as far as I know, in, the realm of real estate, I mean, what I'm doing and what Trump's doing is, two different things, essentially, but not entirely, but mostly. But, usually it's, sorry, it's still early for me.
When is your deposition? I'm sorry.
Hopefully not today, I'll tell you.
Okay.
No, but the way it works is, to truly get an assessment or a value of a property, a bank's not usually going to take somebody's word on it. They're going to send an appraiser, or they're going to have a third party to go and look into the value of things. So I guess I still don't understand, what the charge is here, or what the accusation is, or how that would even be feasible, or how a bank would allow themselves to be duped. But I guess we'll see what happens in the coming months.
Yeah, this also, remember, this investigation started after Michael Cohen, the former personal lawyer to the former president, testified before Congress in 2019. You'll recall during those hours and hours of testimony, he said that the former president and his employees at the company had manipulated his net worth, to suit his interests. So if it was, to pay taxes, they said, well, our property's not really worth that much. If it was to get a loan, it was, oh, hey, we have this much in assets. That's what he's saying that they did. And that's where all of this kind of came from, which is why I said, that's how it's kind of put to suit the interest of whatever the need was at the time.
Got it.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. As always, Fox's Tanya J. Powers. And we wanted you to give the news direct to Andrew this morning,
I appreciate
right on the show.
It. Yeah.
Look, Andrew, I think you've got my number. Just give me a call anytime you need a newscast. I've got you. Don't worry.
Personal newscast from time. That could be a new service you could provide. That's awesome.
I mean, yeah, if I didn't want to do anything else, I could absolutely,
As
yes,
if you didn't have
like
enough to do.
Fans, but it's only news. I mean, that's what it is.
There you go. You're onto something.
Have a great weekend, Tanya. That is Fox's Tanya J. Powers with the latest on the latest Trump deposition.
It's going to be real hot. She's in the New York City area, and it's going to be hot down there because it's always like
not necessarily always, but yeah.
Most of the time, a lot hotter down there.
Yeah, sure. So, and I think we're going to talk with Willie Waffle in just a second. As I mentioned, comedian Bob DiBuono is in the building, and he is so hilarious. If you haven't heard,
he's being deposed in the green room
right
now.
He's submitting his deposition right now. That's a good point, Andrew. A meteorite. Now, look, I called Bill in a panic earlier this week.
Okay.
So
about this meteorite you're about to talk about?
Yes, a meteorite. And I don't know if it was the same one. And basically, from a couple of people I talked to. Actually, it was just Bill. He convinced me it might have been just maybe a shooting star or something.
Okay.
All right, so this is what this says. A meteorite shot through the sky over Maine last Saturday. So let me think. When did I see it? I actually think I saw it Monday night. So this wasn't
So
the
it
same
took
thing.
it took 2 oh,
No,
okay.
it couldn't have been the same. But I was driving in South Utica, and I happened to glance up into the sky, and right in my sight line, it was. I said it was, an asteroid or a meteorite, but it was probably a shooting star or some debris that was burning up on the edge of the atmosphere.
Okay.
But it looked like a street light. It was about the size of a street light when you're in your car, and it was shooting through the air with a flame coming off the back of it. It almost looked like a Comet's logo. I'm not even kidding.
Really?
Yeah, I've only seen that, whether you call it a shooting star or whatever it actually was. I've only seen that like
It was a UFO.
twice,
It was a UFO.
maybe 3 times in my whole life, and once was, I don't even remember what night it was. I'd have to go check my text messages.
So it was
see
darker
when I
out?
called Bill. Yeah, it was probably around 8. The sun had set, but you could kind of see a little light in the distance.
Yeah, it was an alien.
It was an alien.
It was
huh?
definitely a UFO. Mm-hmm. Well, the government's come out and acknowledged the fact that they're real now. So, I mean, it's very possible that it was.
What's real, aliens or UFOs?
Both, I think.
Well, a UFO is only an unidentified flying object. It could be a frisbee for all we know.
Right. It's funny it's funny to think about this, but with all the meteorites and comets flying through the air, it's a wonder we don't see them more often, or they haven't struck more often.
I agree. So I mentioned this not only because I saw something, I don't know exactly what it was, but there is a museum that's offering $25,000 in cash to the first person who finds a chunk of that meteorite that went through Maine. And I don't know how they would know which one's which or which planet it came from. I'm sure they have a way of verifying, but I don't know how you, the average Joe, would be able to find it, retrieve it, and bring in $25,000. But if you do, they'll give you $25,000.
Well, I don't know how to break it to my girlfriend, but we ain't going to the Red Hot Chili Peppers tonight. We're driving to Maine. Let's go.
They want only big pieces. In order to qualify for the money, it must weigh at least 2.2 pounds. Also, did you see this picture that was floating around the internet yesterday? I bet you Ben saw this. Ben, you know what a black hole looks like?
I do.
Yes. Is it because of the picture you saw yesterday?
I think the one they released a few months ago.
Okay, so there was an original picture of what a black hole or the black hole or whatever it is looks like, okay? So they used AI to kind of enhance the photo, and I think they were calling it yesterday the orange donut, that it looks like an orange donut. The outside of it's kind of got that sunshine glaze, if you will, a little bit, but obviously the middle of it is just a giant hole. So that made the rounds yesterday. And then speaking of AI, researchers are checking to see what that is the dumbest story in the world. I'm not reading that. We're transitioning quickly to
Willie Waffle, save us, please.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
We were about to go into a black hole.
Well, I'm just convinced that you're going to end up on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries now.
Yeah, with
But
Andrew's
where was the
UFOs?
black hole originally?
That's funny.
When he was driving down the road and saw a meteor flying through the sky, little did he know his entire life was about to change.
He did get $25,000 for the 2.2 grams, but what happened after that was inexplicable. You remember that guy who used to do the Unsolved Mysteries?
Nobody can find him.
Yes,
Robert Stack used to be the host.
Yeah. And
yeah.
As a kid in like middle school, it was almost kind of creepy because whenever you were homesick from school, you were home by yourself, okay? And you would be watching Unsolved Mysteries. It would be like noon, but you're home alone, and like you'd start to get freaked out, like between his voice and like the stories they'd cover.
Well,
You're like, oh my God.
Willie, correct me if
I
I'm
gotta turn it
wrong.
off. I gotta go on Price is Right.
Robert Stack did have the creepy voice, but that creepy music.
And they still use the music on the Netflix version of the show.
Oh, my God. If
Yeah, I
you
went
have
and
any
saw that.
information or see this person lurking in your backyard, call 1-800-oh-my-goodness.
So Willie Waffles on to I don't think we're talking about Unsolved Mysteries. There's not another round of episodes coming, is there?
No, not yet. We'll have to. You have to wait. They have to find the mysteries and then bring them to us.
Yes, we must.
Many of them have been
investigate
solved. Many of them have already been solved. So.
All right,
So that stinking internet.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Internet.
So Willie, of course, gives us the rundown of some movies, some shows, some some television entertainment.
And Willie, it's good to talk to you. I mean, obviously, regrettably left the show last year, and and you weren't on with us for a while. But it's been really good to hear what I should and shouldn't be watching every Friday now. It's good to have you back.
Well, thanks.
So, what are you telling us to direct our attention to or not this weekend?
Yeah, there's a lot of not this weekend. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, I have been so excited for this new Nicolas Cage movie, Renfield. Okay, and the premise sounded great, right? You got Nicholas Hoult playing the servant to Dracula, Renfield. He wants to kind of break away. He wants to do his own thing, but he's kind of codependent on Dracula, and he's going to therapy, and he's trying to find the strength to live his own life. And, of course, Dracula wants to keep him around. That was funny when that was the movie. And then it becomes like this whole stupid crime drama. All of a sudden, Renfield's like teaming up with some cop. They're trying to take down some gang leader in New Orleans. I'm like, that is not the movie I signed up for.
Oh, my gosh. How many waffles is this beauty getting?
You know, I'm going one waffle. I think Nicolas Cage was fantastic in this movie. He is absolutely everything you want him to be as Dracula. He's creepy. He's hilarious. He's over the top. He's crazy. He's full-on Nicolas Cage. And that's why I wanted to see this movie, and it's just not enough to save a really horrible script.
You know, Willie, people were just telling me that, maybe not. Maybe I was reading. It was a review that he was amazing. He was so great in it, just like you said, but only enough to carry one waffle, huh?
Yeah, it's great to see him, but there's so much other baggage, so much other dreck that it just do you really want to give up that time? And maybe just kind of hang out for a couple of months. It shows up on streaming. You fast forward to all the Nicolas Cage scenes, and things are better in life.
Especially because the weather is going to be. I mean, it's good that you're saying that there's a lot of single waffle or a little bit more movies this weekend with the weather being nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons to be outside. I'd say The Pope's Exorcist is another reason to be outside this weekend.
Okay, all right, let's hear about it.
Yeah, this is Russell Crowe playing the Italian chief exorcist of the Vatican. And it's really hilarious because they based this character on a real guy. Like his name's Gabriel Amorth, and he is the exorcist of the Rome diocese, and they try to make you understand that this guy's real, and then literally in the credits they're like, oh, by the way, everything that happened here is fictional. We're not saying that any of it really happened. And I would never believe that any of this would happen. It's a movie set in 1987. There's this teen who's been devil's minions, and there's all sorts of copies of The Exorcist in this movie. It really just does want to be The Exorcist 3 or The Exorcist 4.
Yeah.
And, Crow has to go out and try to solve the problem. He thinks the kid maybe is just troubled until he sees it with his own eyes. And he realizes the place where he's gone is a portal to evil.
Oh, my God. Dun, dun, dun. So how many waffles?
And, this is another one. I've seen this movie before. I've seen it done better. I think at least towards the end it gets really crazy. Towards the end, it just says, you know what, we're just going to make this thing the wildest exorcism you've ever seen in your entire life, and it becomes kind of campy in a way. And Russell Crowe, at least, he runs with it. He gives it some grace. He plays it over. He plays it so hammy when it gets kind of over the top. I'll go 1.5 waffles for The Pope's Exorcist.
Ooh,
yuck.
So did you mention sequels? You just mentioned sequels, I think, right? No.
Well, I mean, The Exorcist had a couple sequels. After the original was so great, they tried to capture that magic in a bottle, 2 or 3 more times.
Yeah. Well, then you had the Emily Rose.
It was an Exorcist sequel.
Yeah. Well, and then you had other spin-off. Exorcism of Emily Rose, and then.
Well, the reason I mentioned it is because I wanted your take on this, Willie. And I think you have one more for us also?
I would just throw out there, I think an interesting show, it premiered on Netflix yesterday. It's called Florida Man.
Okay.
And it's Edgar Ramirez, kind of this disgraced cop. He's deep in debt to a gangster in Philadelphia, and the gangster's girlfriend takes off and disappears, and she runs down to Florida, and she sends Edgar Ramirez down to get him, and it's just trouble for him right from the beginning, man. He's going back to where his family's from. He's trying to get out of debt to the gangster. The girlfriend, she's kind of the femme fatale of this whole show. And we have to wonder, how is he going to survive this big, fat mess that he's gotten himself into? And it's kind of a comedy. I thought it was going to be funnier. It really does play a little bit more like a drama, but it's interesting. I'm like 2.5 waffles. It's worth checking out.
It is kind of refreshing, though, that Netflix does continue to have some pretty good series. And, I am ashamed to admit it, but yes, I do enjoy Love is Blind, and the finale of this season is coming up on Friday. Or today. It's going to be released.
It's today, yes.
Yeah, so.
Friday.
And I'm sure I'm not the only one that's admitting, or that actually enjoys the show. I may be the only one admitting it.
There you go.
Well, I mean, they keep bringing it back and back, so somebody's watching it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Willie, appreciate your time as always. What was the name of the last series you ran down? You gave it 2.5.
It's called Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Which is always funny because I thought it was going to be about all the crazy stories that happen. You know how they always say you can Google a Florida man, and that's how all these news stories start.
And that's kind of the inspiration. Like, he ends up in these situations that could only happen in Florida.
All right, there you go. Willie Waffle, appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather.
We'll talk to you next week.
All right. That is Willie Waffle, who joins us each Friday morning for a breakdown of entertainment. He gives us his waffle ratings.
He's always brutally honest.
Yeah, series, shows, and new movie releases. So, as you mentioned, Willie's been on the show Willie's been with Keeler for
years,
decades.
Yeah. When I was still a young intern at the ripe age of 15.
Of course, this is Friday morning. Andrew is sitting in again this morning. No Bill here, but he'll be back live on Monday morning. I mentioned the sequel thing. I saw this in my news stack, and I wanted to find it and share it. Denzel Washington, his 40-year acting career, he had never accepted a sequel until which movie? Do you know? Ben, you can get in on this also if you want.
Denzel Washington?
Yeah, Denzel Washington.
Oh, man.
Is there another Denzel you know of?
No.
Denzel Johnson, the one we went to high school with. Yeah.
No, I didn't. I just didn't want to make sure I heard that correctly. That's right. I don't think he has ever been in a sequel.
He's been in one, and it came just a few years ago.
I don't know.
The Equalizer 2.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't get a chance to ask Willie, but The Equalizer 3 has been filmed, and that's set to be out on September 1st.
And he'll be in that one, too.
I'm not sure. They just note that the news has broken that there will be a third one, and that Equalizer 2 was the first sequel that Denzel ever did in his 40-year career. The two busiest U.S. airports for cargo are Memphis and Anchorage. Memphis because it's home of FedEx, Anchorage because it's a hub for other international shipments. Thanks for the hand gesture. I didn't realize it's already 7 o'clock. A news update coming up, WIBX 950, Utica, Rome.
And we'll have to learn as this goes on whether or not we have additional vulnerabilities that we have to address.
Jack Teixeira will have an initial appearance today at a federal court in Boston where specific charges against the Massachusetts Air National Guardsman will be laid out. It is unclear if this case will eventually transfer to the military justice system, as the Pentagon is calling the leaks a criminal act. The Department of Defense says it will continue to review what they are calling a variety of factors in an effort to safeguard classified materials.
That's Fox's Sean Langell. North Korea is raising the stakes in its ongoing nuclear weapons standoff with the U.S., boasting its latest missile launch yesterday tested a new one, a solid fuel intercontinental ballistic missile that may be harder to detect and might be able to reach the continental U.S. Florida is the latest Republican-led state to put new restrictions on abortions, banning them after 6 weeks of pregnancy in a law just signed by Governor Ron DeSantis.
The 6-week time frame, which can be before some women know they're pregnant, has been opposed by Democrats and pro-choice advocates fighting for bodily autonomy for women. It can only take effect if the Florida Supreme Court upholds a 15-week ban in place now. It's not certain when that ruling will be handed down.
Fox's Gernal Scott, more than 3 months after a 6-year-old boy shot his teacher at a Virginia elementary school.
The mother of the boy's been formally charged with child neglect and failing to secure her handgun. Abby Werner filed a $40 million lawsuit against the Newport News School District, accusing them of ignoring multiple warnings that the boy was armed.
That's Fox's Jill Nato. America's listening to Fox News.
You know, our friends at Legacy Box, they make reclaiming your glory days as simple as 1, 2, 3. You can go around your house, your garage, your closet, and your attic, and guess what? You're going to find family photos and VHS tapes and camcorder tapes, and maybe even 8mm tapes. Look, the team at Legacy Box, they will hand digitize every single thing and they put it up on a cloud or send you a thumb drive. Now, magnetic tape like VHS camcorder tape, you know, it's only made to last 10 to 20 years. It deteriorates very quickly, and that means you're losing family memories over time. Imagine your great-great-great-great-grandchildren hearing your voice and seeing your face and learning more about you. I would love that opportunity. By the way, if you do it today, you get 40% off the all-in-one digitizing kit. Take advantage of this offer today. Use Legacy Box whenever you're ready. Just go to legacybox.com/now, N-O-W. That's legacybox.com/now. And tell them your friend Sean Hannity sent you.
2 Indianapolis police officers are charged with reckless homicide and involuntary manslaughter for the death of a man nearly a year ago when they responded to a call he was having a mental health crisis. The man ended up being tased and later died at a hospital. In Minneapolis, a nearly $9 million settlement for 2 people who claim ex-cop Derek Chauvin, convicted in George Floyd's 2020 murder, assaulted them doing the same thing years earlier, kneeling on their necks.
Mayor Jacob Fry calling the acts by Chauvin in 2017 unconscionable.
If the supervisors had done the right thing, George Floyd would not have been murdered.
John Pope Jr. will receive $7.5 million. Zoya Code will receive nearly $1.4 million.
Our city deeply apologizes.
Lisa Lacera, Fox News.
We'll get an update on the economy this morning. Retail sales for March following 2 reports the past few days showing slowing inflation, sending stocks surging yesterday. The Dow rose nearly 400 points, but right now markets are mixed. Up a little for the Dow on the futures, but down for the NASDAQ. A new record could be set in Major League Baseball tonight.
Tampa beat Boston 9-3 to improve its record to a perfect 13-0 to begin the season. That ties the modern era record for best start since 1900, a mark the Rays now share with the 1982 Braves and the 1987 Brewers. Tampa Bay will have a chance to have the record all to itself with the win against the Blue Jays Friday night in Toronto. The Rays' 13 straight victories is also a franchise record for longest winning streak at any point in the season, and the strong start has given Tampa an early jump on its competition. Every other team in the league has already lost at least 4 times. I'm Eric Messersmith, Fox News.
Again, that game against the Jays is tonight. And also in the NBA tonight, the final play-in games to set the 2 final playoff spots. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Fair skies, 45 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Monaski. WIBX News Time is 7:05. This news update is brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going. The exterior of an East Utica bar and several vehicles parked nearby were hit with bullets earlier this week as police say a man inexplicably fired several rounds from a handgun. Despite the damage, there are no reports of injury. UPD was alerted to the initial shots fired report at Rick's Place on Mohawk Street just after 9 o'clock on Tuesday night. Arriving officers were directed to a home on the nearby 700 block of Lansing Street. Police say they found several shell casings outside and 37-year-old Tyrell Williams at the back of the home. He lives there. They received permission to search his home and say they found a .40 caliber handgun loaded inside the home. And they say the ammunition from that gun did match the shell casings found outside the house. Williams was taken into custody on 3 illegal weapon possession charges and 1 count of reckless endangerment. Well, he's only 3.5 months into his first term, but Brandon Williams, 22nd District Congressman, already has a challenger for next time around. A Democrat from DeWitt officially entering the race, Sarah Clee Hood, who was in the Democrat primary last time around, is a 41-year-old Air Force veteran. She's looking to secure the party's nomination. Clee Hood says that she's inspired to run again after having a strong showing in the last Democratic primary. The 22nd District covers all of Madison, Onondaga, and Oneida counties, along with a small portion of Oswego County. For the first time since a show at the Landmark Theater back more than 30 years ago, the Red Hot Chili Peppers will be performing in Syracuse tonight. popular band will be taking the stage at the JMA Wireless Dome. The concert will start at 6:30 with performances by King Princess and the Strokes. Some seats are still available. You can get those through Ticketmaster. And, in fact, our guest host this morning, Andrew Derminio, and our guest screener this morning, Ben Ferner, are both going to the show tonight, right?
We'll be in attendance.
Oh, we're ready for it.
Are you guys going together?
No,
it's just a coincidence.
Just a coincidence.
Okay. What else do we have here in the news? The 10th annual Syracuse Half Marathon is coming up this weekend. U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg was in the Capital Region yesterday with Governor Kathy Hochul. They announced $21 million in funding to improve the safety and reliability of the Castleton-on-Hudson Bridge. Buttigieg's appearance yesterday was part of the Biden-Harris administration's Investing in America tour. Work is already underway at the bridge, and the money is coming from the Federal Department of Transportation's Bridge Investment Program.
Can we get some investment in the bridge over on Leland Ave near my house in North Utica?
Is it bad?
There's a pothole.
Oh, in the bridge?
You know, right before the bridge that crosses over the throughway, there's a little bit of a spot where the blacktop's missing. And you see, where you hit those potholes where it angers you to the core?
Yes.
You're almost like you're seething because you just hit the pothole?
Yes.
Yeah, that happened. And you would think I would miss it after knowing where it was, but no, I continually hit it.
Well, maybe you win the Mega Millions and have a chance you could buy a new car. The Mega Millions jackpot is up to, which one is it? The prize for Mega Millions is $476, and the Powerball tomorrow is $219 million. The cost of a ticket to play each game is just $2. Of course, both drawings are streamed online.
$2 in a dream.
That's all it takes. Your Weather Center forecast comes to you from Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint. Mostly cloudy skies through mid-morning, gradually clearing with sunshine this afternoon, a high of 86 degrees. And, Andrew, I have to tell you already, we're mid-April, literally. We have an air quality alert in effect from 11 this morning until 11 this evening. New York State Department of Environmental Conservation issuing an air quality report for ground-level ozone. Air quality levels in outdoor air predicted to be greater than air quality index value of 100 for ozone. So there is an air quality warning out there today. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, an overnight low of 56. We do have a chance of rain showers in the afternoon on Saturday, but it stays warm, 79. We are well above average right now. And a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms on Sunday afternoon, otherwise partly sunny, and a high of 74. Andrew, right now we have fair skies, 45 degrees. WIBX news time is 7:10.
Well, I do want to apologize. I still think he's got a lot of potential and is a good pitcher, but obviously didn't realize he started and had an awful showing. Johnny Brito was the starter for the Yanks, and unfortunately, he dropped to 2-1 after being charged with 7 runs over 2/3 of an inning. Anthony Rizzo provided all of the offense with a pair of solo home runs to bring his season total to 3, but the Yankees fell to the Minnesota Twins in the Bronx, 11-2 the final last night. I still think, like I said, he's a young pitcher. He's still got potential. We shouldn't give up on him. Everybody has a bad game. The Mets are on the West Coast for a 10-game road trip starting tonight. New York is opening a 3-game series at the Athletics. Kodai Senga is expected to make his 3rd start of the season. The right-hander is 2-0 with a 1.59 earned run average. He'll be opposed by Oakland righty James Kaprielian. Wow, I butchered that. Sorry. The Mets are currently 2nd in the NL East at 7-6. The A's are last in the AL West at 3-10. The Jets are parting ways with one of their special teamers. New York has released punter Braden Mann. The move comes 1 week after Gang Green signed veteran Thomas Morstead. Mann had been the Jets punter for the past 3 seasons after being selected in the 6th round of the 2020 NFL Draft out of Texas A&M. It may be that they need cap space for Aaron Rodgers, who is still a Green Bay Packer as far as we know right now. He's supposed to be going to the New York Jets, but with my luck, we'll be stuck with him for another season.
I have to tell you, they've been going through the process of this Jets-Packers trade for Aaron Rodgers. It feels like it's been longer than some of the Trump investigations. I mean, this thing won't get done. Are you kidding me?
Well, good thing we have Trump to weigh in on that and many topics here this morning.
Yes, he's coming up momentarily.
And then let's see, some basketball news. The Nets open playoffs tomorrow in Philadelphia, and the Knicks will hope to have the Julius Randle for the start of their playoff run.
I'm excited. I think the Knicks might actually. I couldn't tell you the last time they won a playoff series, but
they may have. They have. I haven't really been following.
They have a
them
chance. I don't know if they will. They are the higher seed, if you will. They'll be playing more games on the road, but hopeful. They're playing against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Did we miss anything? Utica Comets need 1 point to wrap up a playoff spot. They're at home tonight against the Cleveland Monsters, and then they wrap the regular season on the road tomorrow in Syracuse.
Utica City FC on Sunday.
A playoff game, 3 o'clock Sunday, Utica City FC against the Milwaukee Wave. And this is a situation where, actually, you know what? I missed it last night, but it's a situation where we could have 2 games at the Adirondack Bank Center on Sunday afternoon, because that's how they do the tie break. It's that quick mini game. Something I think we saw years ago with NCAA playoff games. Is that what they did? With the hockey games. They would go to a mini game. I think that was for the Pioneers.
Yeah. And I think Utica City has had one of those playoff mini games in the past as well.
I think they
maybe in their inaugural season or their second season, one of the two.
All right, it is 7:13. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Not a best of if you're just joining us. I know Andrew Guest hosted 2 weeks ago, but when we have an opening, we thought to ourselves, who else would we rather call?
8 other people.
Yeah, well, it was short notice.
They were unavailable.
It's a gorgeous weekend, and they're already out of town, so we settled on you. I'm kidding. We have the greatest. Believe me, people tell him all the
most
time.
Wonderful, perfect.
Trump impersonator coming in right now. He'll be performing at Fat Cats Comedy Club this weekend. We'll give you a chance to win tickets. Stay tuned for that. We've got details on how you can get tickets for the upcoming Citron wheelchair basketball game. And our former coworker, Jim Rondinelli, I believe, is staying on the bench this year. I think he's going to be a special guest coach.
Yeah, well, he had an injury recently that would probably preclude him from playing when he fell outside the diner.
Well, he tripped. Maybe he should be sitting down then.
He should, yeah.
But that's coming up. We'll talk with Mark DePerno from Citron and a lot more to get to. A gorgeous Friday on tap here. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX, 950 AM and 106.9 FM.
Spring is on the way, and if you're looking to make the most of it in a new RV, camper, boat, or trailer, then look to Mohawk Valley FCU. Right now, you can get up to 120-month financing for as low as 5.74% APR for any new recreation vehicle. That's 120 months of financing for as low as 5.74% APR. Go to MohawkValleyFCU.org for more info and to apply today. Mohawk Valley FCU, member-focused, member-driven.
Don't wait for spring. Declutter and clean now. You Call, We Haul does it all, offering 14-foot trailer rentals to haul away all that junk. They offer 2-day rentals for $200 plus dump fee. 5-day rentals, $325 plus dump fee. They'll even drop off a trailer to you. Fill the trailer up, and once you're done, give them a call, and they'll haul it all away for you with the first ton on them. Call 315-351-6412 or visit YouCallWeHaulNY.com for your free quote today.
This is an important message for anyone who's on Medicaid and needs home care. Did you know that a family member, close friend, or even a neighbor can get paid to be your caregiver in the comfort of your own home? That's right. If you're on Medicaid, your child, grandchild, friend, or someone else you know and trust can be paid per hour to be your caregiver through a Medicaid-funded program. Just call 800-480-1730, and Horizon Home Care Services will help you hire the loved one you choose to be your caregiver. Horizon is based right here in upstate New York. As your neighbor, nobody cares more than Horizon about getting your caregiver paid the best rates on time. If you're on Medicaid, this service is absolutely free for you. Just call 800-480-1730 right now. Get the home care you need from a loved one or known friend, and they can get paid to help you at home. Just call 800-480-1730. This service is absolutely free to you, and your relative or friend gets paid to be a caregiver. Just call 800-480-1730. 800-480-1730. 800-480-1730.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Medi-Share works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, a Friday morning, 7:18. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Of course, no Bill in today. Andrew is filling in. It's not a repeat.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Andrew?
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
I would like to welcome in, and you were supposed to cue up the presidential music here. Comedian Bob DiBuono is in studio, performing this weekend at Fat Katz Comedy Club.
Fresh off a deposition, yeah.
Should I say former President Trump performing this weekend?
Well, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me, please. It's really a pleasure.
So explain to us, you were in New York, you had to go to Mar-a-Lago just to come back here. Why the extra traveling?
Well, first of all, we call him D.A. Alvin Airbag. And he's really terrible. What he's doing is really horrible, what he wants to do to me. And he wants to arrest me, which I think is hilarious. The last time I think I was in handcuffs, I was with Stormy Daniels.
Oh!
But the guy's a disgrace.
So we're glad to have you here. We appreciate it. We're honored as always.
I only came in because I heard that Bill wasn't going to be here. I said, great, because I really don't like the guy. I mean, everybody knows the guy's a jerk. He's a complete jerk. And he never voted for me. I'm not happy about that. You know that.
Oh, you are hilarious. That is as good as it gets, other than having the former president in. We'll be talking and laughing with former President Trump quite a bit
and
this
Bob
morning.
DiBuono, too.
And Bob
They're both in
DiBuono.
studio.
And we've got Mark DiPerno, who is in studio with us as well. Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you, sir?
Good. So we wanted to have you in to talk about the upcoming Citron basketball game. Bill Keeler will be performing in that. I think he gets a vote in that, maybe. He gets to determine how many shots he's going to take before his arms feel like they're going to fall off.
Bill's been back for, I can't tell you, at least 10, 12 years. The 19th annual Citron Celebrity Classic wheelchair basketball game taking place this Thursday, April 20th at Utica University. We have from the Syracuse men's basketball team, Benny Williams and Quadir Copeland. From the women's team, Deasia Fair. From the soccer team, which won the national championship, two representatives, and a cast of other great local individuals who do wonderful things in our community to support the Citron Stars.
I mean, you really have a nice lineup here. I mean, I didn't know Senator Griffo played basketball, let alone wheelchair basketball.
Neither did he, from what I heard from his office.
And Aaron Hamlin, that's always exciting to see our local Olympian and bronze medal winner on the court.
Yeah, four-time Olympian. Aaron's our favorite Olympian by far. Comes back every year. We have great cast, as you mentioned, from legislation, Oneida County Executive Pacenti, I should say, Mayor Palmieri, Assemblywoman Buttonshaw, Assemblyman Miller, our county sheriff, Rob Mayshul.
Which that's the matchup right there. I mean, you cannot have the mayor, Palmieri, and the sheriff, Mayshul, on the same team because it's just too good to see them go at it. I mean, there's been a lot of trash talk in other events that they've been in here in this studio, I believe. So we had to separate them at one point, I think.
And that's going to be Jim's job this year as the coach. Jim Rondinelli's got a tall task. But
Go ahead.
I was going to say, the game does primarily two things. It helps to raise the awareness in our community of the amazing abilities of people that happen to have physical impairments. We say disability loosely. We all have some type of impairment. Sometimes it's visible, loss of limb, spinal cord injury, the need for a wheelchair. Others are invisible. In addition to that, we raise dollars to purchase the much-needed adaptive sports equipment and help athletes train and compete across the globe. I mean, this weekend's the Boston Marathon. Herman Garrick will be competing, one of the best wheelchair racers in the world right here from Utica, New York, and we're happy to say we support him from the Citron Stars program.
Herman's a good man. We've known him a long time, and he's always proudly representing us all over the place, and especially at the Boilermaker as well. And this is not an easy task for those who usually compete. I've never competed myself, but I've heard from a lot of the
participants. How have you gotten out of this? You're on
listen, I can't play
fundraising events. You're all over the place.
I can't play regular basketball, so I know I would fail terribly at this. It's hard to sit and shoot the basketball.
I mean, you have to dribble. You don't just sit down and shoot, obviously. You have to dribble. You have to maneuver the chair. You're going to be hitting other chairs. Obviously, physical contact is part of any sport. But to make a three-pointer from a seated position, to dribble behind your back, kind of give and go, these athletes are amazing. And it's like the Globetrotters, let's be honest. It's the Generals versus the Globetrotters. Citron's going to win by 48 points, but it's a great time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so this is coming up. It's next Thursday, April 20th. It's at the Utica University Clark Athletic Center. Tickets are still available. As you said, this is a fundraiser.
You betcha. So tickets are $10 for adults, $5 for students, and those can be purchased at Citron on our website at citron.com/Celebrity Classic. Give us a call at 737-2459 or buy them at the gate.
So those who come to Citron, can you talk about the services that they provide? Obviously, the equipment is extremely expensive. Can you talk more about what you do for those in our community?
Yeah, for the STARS program specifically, athletes with disabilities can engage in wheelchair racing, wheelchair curling, basketball, of course. We compete locally, train every Sunday afternoon for the most part. For those who want to engage in archery, target shooting, kayak canoe, bottom line is if a person wants to get involved in sport and doesn't have the means or the know-how because of a limitation, we're going to find a way to make it happen. We'll find the equipment, the technology, introduce them to the sport, and help them if they want to ascend up the ladder to potentially become a Paralympian.
Which we have several in the area.
For sure, yeah, and more to come. You mentioned Tammy Delano from shooting, the sport of shooting. She's from Rome, New York, longtime Paralympic athlete. Jimmy Joseph, multiple Paralympic experiences. Herman, Jason Robinson's doing amazing things in the sport of racing. On it goes, and we just want to help future generations of athletes. This game helps us do that.
And Jason is, and I know Jason and his family personally. I remember when Jason was very young. It's kind of crazy because I have a sister who is graduating high school this year, and her and Jason are similar in age. And just to see his progression has been wonderful. And not only have you always been a huge advocate for Citron, but Jimmy and Herman and Jason also have been. And that's a really big testament to what you do, and for veterans too.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Andrew. And it's a community, right? It starts with 1, 2, 3, 4 small groups of people, and then it just kind of spawns from there. And they are great advocates for others in our community with disabilities, speaking to them in the hospitals that have gone through some ailments or some rehabilitative interventions, and just helping us all as a community be better, be the best versions of ourselves. So excited to be involved with the movement. More to come. Come down to the game on the 20th, have a blast, meet an athlete, get an autograph, and help us support our community.
It's next Thursday, less than a week away, 6:30, April 20th at the Utica University Clark Athletic Center. Again, the celebs who will be there, in addition to the local celebrities, we've got some Syracuse stars. And tell us how, is it Diasia? Am I saying that wrong? How did she get added to the roster?
Yeah.
This is a good story, right?
Great story. Diasia Fair, who is the leading scorer from the SU women's basketball team. She's actually number 3 in the nation for total points scored over her career. She's been on our radar for the last 4 weeks, and she was concerned about a conflict. Just informed me last night. She would love to come down. She is available. She'll be joining this cast of Syracuse athletes from the soccer team, from the men's basketball team, and, of course, representing women's basketball. We'll have a full squad of Syracuse university representation. And, again, they recognize the need to support community, to provide athletes and support athletes with disabilities. There'll be a chance, by the way, I got to mention, for a 3-point competition against Diasia, against Benny Williams, against Quadir Copeland, a little halftime raffle, if you will, for a spectator that wants to see, do they have what it takes to beat some of the best athletes in the nation?
Nice. And so Rondinelli will also be available for autographs?
Of course, always.
Just wanted to make sure, you know.
He's the hardest one to get.
I don't know if his agent negotiated him a sweet deal or what.
Well, and if Jim is listening this morning, I want to say good morning. I look forward to seeing him at the event next week. Again, it's next Thursday, the 20th. One more time, where do you get tickets?
Tickets at citron.com/Celebrity Classic or call us at 315-737-2459.
Mark, thank you so much. Good luck with the event.
Appreciate it.
The 19th annual Citron Celebrity Classic Wheelchair Basketball
So,
game.
President Trump, you were invited to participate in this event. You just were too busy, or?
Well, I have a handicap. Its name is Mike Pence. And I think that's worse than anyone in a wheelchair, I can tell you that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Comedian Bob DiBuono is in studio. Get ready for more of that all weekend long as well. He's at Fat Cats Comedy Club. We'll give you a chance to win. We've also got your $100 free money question of the day coming up. And we'll talk to Bob DiBuono as well. Not just President Trump,
Right,
but
yeah.
We'll get a couple of different voices going on here this morning. And I should mention former
come
President
on.
Bush.
You
I
can't.
won't have you do it now. I won't have you do it. It's got to be natural. It's got to be natural. It's 7:27. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Are you ready to make the most important decision for your child's future? Some are easy, some are not. Some make all the difference, like choosing Notre Dame schools. Offering grades pre-K through 12, your child will be ready to learn and thrive in a challenging atmosphere surrounded by great teachers and the most current technology. Notre Dame offers small class sizes, high academic standards, and spiritual fulfillment. At Notre Dame, we foster an environment of diversity and community. Students feel supported and more confident in achieving their goals. Our students learn from each other and are challenged to grow and develop their innate talents. Notre Dame is faith-based, but everyone is welcome. If you have higher expectations for your child, Notre Dame offers a higher level experience. If you're ready to launch your child's future into the most successful career path and build the next generation of leaders, call today for a tour or visit NotreDameUtica.org. Notre Dame schools ready to learn, destined to lead. Are you considering buying an electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid? Wouldn't it be nice to just fuel up at home with an EV charging station? Potentia is helping to make the convenience of charging easier for your home and your business. As a leader in green electrical projects, Potentia has completed hundreds of large sustainable commercial projects across New York State and are now getting into the residential market. No more stops at the gas station. Charge at home conveniently and economically. With New York State's zero emissions mandate by 2035, Potentia can help design, supply, even install residential and commercial EV charging systems at your home or your business. From permitting and design through the complete installation, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a turnkey EV charging solution with various packages and options available. They guarantee your satisfaction with all their products and their workmanship. Visit Potentia at 4685 Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford. Give them a call at 315-765-6184 or view their website at potentiamanagement.com.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Honey, why are you peeking out the window and spying on the neighbors?
I can't stop watching what they're doing to their house. Look at that. They added a sunroom and put in a pool. Do you think they won the lottery?
No, not the lottery. Julie and Jeff got a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank. They're using the equity from their home to renovate.
Really?
Yes, Adirondack Bank has home equity rates as low as 3.99% annual percentage rate. You can access the equity in your home to fund almost anything.
Huh. Maybe we should call Adirondack Bank. What about a new kitchen? Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the roof. Oh, and even take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about. And, of course, I need a new car.
Slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank.
Stop into your local Adirondack Bank for more information on home equity loan rates as low as 3.99% APR. Or call 877-404-2265 for credit costs and terms. Apply today at AdirondackBank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
2, 3. There we go. I just got to make sure I have all the correct microphones on. There's so many personalities in this room this morning. I just want to make sure all the mics are on to capture it. We have Andrew Derminio sitting in this morning as a special guest host. No Bill this morning, and a man of many voices, hilarious comedian, and he hasn't been to sleep yet. Bob DiBuono, performing this weekend at Fat Katz, drove overnight from New Jersey. What's up, man?
Hey, buddy. Great to be here. I came here to sleep, so as soon as I can just... I'd like to lie down if you guys would stop talking and win the microphones. Jesus, can't get any
no
quiet
sleep
around this
here.
place.
No.
Well, welcome in here this morning. I have to tell you, man, you have... And there's some good ones out there, but your Trump is so on point, and it's so off the top of the head. Even like, that wasn't a setup, a bit you've been working on. You just started running with it, and how much fun do you have with that?
I have so much fun doing it. You know, when you do impersonations, like there's two types of camps of like impersonators. I always tell people, in my opinion, you have like people that do like a caricature of somebody, which is almost cartoonish,
right?
And kind of like Alec Baldwin's impression of Trump. And then the other camp, I think, is the person who really tries to capture every nuance. It's like it's pure acting, like method acting. You want to capture every little thing about that person, and then when you watch that person, it's do the impersonation. It's like watching a good magician. It's like, I know it's not real, but I'm willing to take the ride because I'm enjoying this, and I'm kind of pulled in. It's suspending my belief.
So how often, when you're working, let's say on a new impression, is it like when do you tell yourself, okay, I'm ready to present this to the general public?
I always tell people, you know when you have to record your voice and play it back, and then at one point, like with the Trump thing for 4 months, I kept trying to do it. I couldn't do it. It was like a guy it sounded like a tough guy from Brooklyn. It was like, hey, how you doing? It was like terrible. I mean, it was like,
which is
like,
a funny impression
do Trump.
right there.
It's humongous. It's so huge. And it was terrible. It was I couldn't get it. And then one night, I kept recording it on like my Mac. And I would, and then all of a sudden I played it back, and I didn't hear me anymore. And I think the moment you stop hearing you, and you go, "Who's that?"
Right,
you're onto something.
What comes first, the voice or the mannerisms?
Usually the voice.
Yeah.
I mean,
once you get that down, then you can start to focus on.
Yeah, like I got the voice down after 4 months, and then I pitched it to a friend of mine who was a showrunner for Comedy Central's nightly show with Larry Wilmore, and I said I knew it was a political show, and I said, "Listen, you guys want to." If you're looking for a Trump, I think I have it. And they said, yeah, send it over. So I literally just sent over like a little clip, something I shot on my Mac, put it up on YouTube. It was like 30 seconds. And within 2 weeks, he was like, Larry Wilmore loves it. He wants you to come in and do a reading. I'm like, oh, okay. Go in that day. I'm reading in front of all the writers in the writer's room. That night, I'm on in front of a live audience.
Wow,
Comedy
that
Central,
quick.
11:30 at night.
Wow.
Boom. Yeah, in front of like the whole nation. In makeup. In front of a teleprompter, playing Trump, and then in front of a live audience, and then that night, and then from there they were like, "We want you to be our Trump guy." This is before he even won.
Yeah,
he was running, and it was kind of like everyone thought it was a joke, like no one thought he'd win, and it was kind of a ruse. But then what happens? He wins. The show goes off the air before he wins. He wins, and I'm thinking they're all going to be coming. SNL, all of these shows are going to want me. Kimmel, and the phone didn't ring for months, and I was so depressed. I was like, man, I've been working on this character for like a year, and I was like, why isn't? And I realized it was because it was like a hangover. Like they were so upset when he was running. It was funny,
right. But then when he won,
Colbert had him on, and he was joking around with him. When Trump won, I heard that Colbert took him off the website. The whole episode was just removed.
Wow, yeah.
Imagine that. I mean, talk about hypocrisy. They just got rid of the whole episode as if he was never on. And then there was just like they were so angry now that he had won that there was they didn't want to bring someone on to make him funny. That's my opinion. Because if you
Yeah.
know, none of the shows other than SNL was bringing anyone on.
Sure,
and
that's a good point.
And then when they did bring someone on, they brought on Alec, who everyone knows is very, very liberal, and he hates Trump.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's interesting too. It's probably better off. I mean, because you would know this better than I, obviously being in the business, but that you don't want to it's almost good that you were able to go and do your own thing as opposed to being tied to one show or, be under contract or whatever.
Yeah, you're right. Because I could, from there I got to do Kimmel. I was on The View. I toured with Kendrick Lamar and rapper
kidding.
YG for a month doing 30,000-seat arenas as Trump.
As Trump, right? Yeah,
I would come out before YG would sing FDT.
I was going to say, you don't like side rap. That's not your
I'm
side
not
hustle,
rapping.
right?
No rapping. Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah,
Just
a little
wanted
bit.
to check.
Yeah, they're like, okay. They literally, when they reached out to me in an email, they must have saw me on Comedy Central, and they were just like, hey, I'm the manager for YG. I didn't even know who YG was, and they're like, Kendrick Lamar. It's the biggest tour of the summer. I didn't know who Kendrick Lamar was. I thought he was like a linebacker for the Ravens. I was like, yeah, I'd love to play football with those guys. They're like, no, dude, we don't want you on the team, you idiot. We're a hip hop group. I'm like, oh.
We're talking with comedian Bob DiBuono. He is going to be making a lot of people laugh this weekend at Fat Katz Comedy Club. I was going to say the voice you hear now is that of comedian Bob DiBuono. He does many, including President Trump. We'll jump back into his Trump in a minute. He's got other voices he does. And matter of fact, we talked about him going on tour as Trump. He's going to be in a movie as Trump. But we want to have someone else come in and welcome him. It's Magic Bill, who's going to be down at Fat Katz tonight as well. Good morning. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning.
Hey, Bob, I just wanted to welcome you back into town, and it's going to be a great weekend at Fat Katz, and I wanted to thank you for mentioning me.
Oh, of course. Who wouldn't? How can I not mention you?
You said good magicians. So.
I got to say, though, Bill, I mean, it really is a nice feature, because sometimes, people get impatient waiting for the show to start, but it's always nice to have Bill kind of go around and entertain, and he's really, really talented. So
yes, very much so.
I appreciate that, Bob. Listen, we're going to have fun this weekend. Come on out and see us.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it, buddy.
This weekend at Fat Katz Comedy Club, we'll give you a chance to win tickets. And if you'd like to purchase tickets, you can go right online to, I wish Bill had left me the website there.
Hey, you guys figure it out.
Google Fat Katz Comedy Club, yeah.
There we go. Fat Katz Comedy Club. Of course, it's Fat Katz, Katz, comedyclub.com. So, Bob, I'm sorry. I stepped on your story a little bit in the middle.
No,
you went on tour with a couple of rappers, YG and Kendrick Lamar. And how long was that? Like, were you on the tour bus? You're going city to city with them?
Yeah. Well, they kind of misled me. They're like, oh, we're going to be on a bus, and then we're going to be in 18 cities. 30,000 people a show. We're going to start in like Sacramento. We're going to end up in the United Airlines Arena in Miami. We're going to Canada, everything in between, Nebraska, Utah, Colorado, all across Illinois. And we're doing like hockey arenas. I mean, it was nuts. And I thought we were just going to be on the bus, like, occasionally, and then we'd be flying. Like, I'm such an idiot. And it was like 99% bus. I think one time in a month I stayed in a hotel, and that was for 3 hours on a layover, and then we had to get back on the bus.
Oh my gosh! So wait, you were you were living on the bus,
living on the bus, and here's the kicker: I'm not living on a bus with like, all right. Imagine living on a bus with like 10 of your buddies, and even 10 of your buddies, you drive each other.
Yeah,
nuts.
we would be pulled over fighting all the time.
Right, because you're on a bus. There's like a tiny little bathroom. There's nowhere to go. You have a little cubby to sleep in. Now imagine if you were on there with 10 strangers. That would be uncomfortable. Now imagine being on there, ready, with YG's friends that are all Bloods gang members.
Oh, nice.
5 of them, legitimate Bloods. The nicest guy to me out of all of them. The only guy who talked to me, his name was Buddha. And he's in prison now for murder, for life.
Oh.
No lie. That was
that is
nicest
ironic.
Guy.
A guy named Buddha is serving life in prison
you're,
for murder.
And I say this out of love for them because here we are on a bus, and these guys are all from the inner city, and they're looking at me. I'm not part of their crew, so immediately they don't trust me.
Right, look at this cop over here.
Yeah, right.
It's like look at white guy, cop, white, and dressing up as Donald Trump, who we hate.
Yeah.
They would see me out of costume and walk up to me and be like, "Yo, Trump, F Trump, F Trump." I'm like, "Dude, it's just me. I'm not in the no F Trump." They would just not accept the fact that I was just playing him. They just referred to me as him. They never called me by my name. It was not
So
like,
that had to be an uneasy feeling.
It was the first go around, the first month was brutal because I had no one to hang out with. I had they all hung out with each other, and I would just show up, go into the green room, get ready, go on stage for 3 minutes before YG would come out and sing, his song. And then afterwards, there's like a party in the green room, and then YG would get in. Like they would have like Fight Club in the back, and they'd all like literally like go back and box with each other. And bloody lips. And I remember being like, white guys, we don't do that stuff. Like they're like really like getting into it, And I'd be like, YG, you got to go on stage tomorrow. And you're like throwing throwing haymakers at your buddies. And so that was like, it was just weird. And then I couldn't go on. People were like, when did you go to bed? I'm like, I went to bed when they went to bed. What do you mean, when did I go to bed? You go to bed when they say you could go to bed now. You're on a bus with 12
so the drive from Jersey to here overnight wasn't really that bad.
This is nothing. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you weren't even with Kendrick or YG on the bus. You were just with their friends.
We had 6 buses. So YG was on. He had 2 buses, and Kendrick had 4 buses. So YG was on the other bus, and I was on a bus with all of his roadies that were his friends. Which I love the fact that he hooked up all of his friends with jobs, and he'd be like, you're going to be just like talent coordinator. He's like one of his buddies. He's like, all right. And but they would be smoking and I was just kind of hanging out, but no one hung out with me. But they needed me, like they hated me, because they didn't know who I was. But they're like, we need this guy because he does Trump every night and it makes the show. Like people, it was a big high point of the show.
So let me ask you: Do you go out mid performance? Do you have a scripted thing that you interact with YG or Kendrick Lamar, or do they just send you out before the guys get ready to come on the show?
It was so great because they were like, he's going to sing his song FDT, which everyone knows that song, right? You know that song?
Yeah.
And then they're like, why don't you? It was really loose. They're just like, why don't you just go out before that, and then as Trump, and then just start doing Trump? And I was like, all right. So I treat it like a rally. So I'm like a heel at a wrestling match. I walk out, the crowd, complete darkness. The lights come up, and there's me. It's all on YouTube. You type in it. And all of a sudden, the crowd, you hear a cacophony of like yelling, jeering, cheering, crying, people throwing bottles. And me being the ultimate heel, I'm insulting everyone.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, look at you people. I'm like, I go, have fun tonight at the concert. Half of you will be on the other side of the wall very quickly. You're horrible. We know you're illegal.
Gosh.
And it was great.
That's awesome.
And then they loved hating me. And then after YG, we get off stage. Before Kendrick could come out, they had to do like a whole change of the stage. People would be lining up like in 30, 50, 75 people to take photos with me.
Yeah,
I was like a
That's
superstar
cool.
to them.
Now, and one of the interesting things that we've talked about the last time you were in town, but also off the air, is you also get a lot of pro-Trump Republican people that want you as well.
Yeah. So TV, most of it has been liberal, but private parties and events, corporate events, 99% Republican. I mean, I did something with Candace Owens, Corey Lewandowski, fundraisers for Republicans in Michigan, Idaho, Nevada, all over the country. People are calling me. Switzerland. I went to Italy with Adam Lambert, the singer of Queen. Did a private party, me, Adam Lambert, the singer of Queen, and an Elvis impersonator. Literally in Florence,
like
Italy.
The setup to a bad joke or something.
I know, right? Or like some bad porno or something.
So you haven't met Donald Trump yet, have
you?
No,
not yet. No, he must know about me because I've been in like the New York papers.
Yeah.
I've been in so many shows, and I know he watches everything.
Yeah, he's not a guy that
right.
Prevents and protects himself from
and I think he'd love it. I think he would love me. I think he would, because I play him as him. I'm not bashing him.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like when people go out of their way to try to bash him, and it's so like forced.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys, it's like I just play him as him, and you'll take it from whatever you want.
We're talking this morning with comedian Bob DiBuono performing at Fat Katz Comedy Club this weekend. Hilarious. His impressions are on point. His Trump impression is the best that exists today. It's so good. Like you said, it's natural. It's him. The thing I love about it is there is, especially in a political setting, it's always seemed to me there's a quirkiness, there's an oddity to Donald Trump. I'm not knocking him.
Yeah. You're
But right, and when you get that quirk, it's almost just funny when you say anything, and then when you're throwing insults, it's twice as funny.
Oh, it's awesome.
Oh, right, absolutely. You have captured that. There's a nuance to Donald that's almost a little bit like Asperger's. Like he says things, and you're like, I can't believe. Why would you say that?
I was going to. Well, I'm not even going to try to do an impression, but the way he says China as an example.
China. Where did it come from? It came from China. And, they said it came from a wet market, which I never heard of. I thought that was the name of a strip club. And then they said it came from a lab in Wuhan, which we now call Fluhan. We call it Fluhan. It's the flu, right? It's the flu.
Yeah. Well, and it's like also, too, like even his last interviews, he was talking about, Xi and Kim Jong-un, and it's like, they're terrible people, and we hate China. They're our biggest adversary, but great guy.
Well, Kim Jong and I, we're very tight. We're very good friends, and, I gave him a nice compliment. I called him the Rocket Man, which at first he didn't like it. I said, how can you not like it? It's Elton John's greatest song. Can you believe it? And he said, who the hell's Elton John? I said, some gay guy. And I said to him, I said, but it's a compliment. He said, really? He said, it's a compliment. I said, yeah, actually, I said, Kim, it's a beautiful compliment. It's the greatest compliment I think I've ever given anybody. I said, you know what I could have called you, right? I could have called you like a missile midget. Or a torpedo turd. I could have said all these things. I was very nice about it.
That is Bob DiBuono. So let me ask you, how long have you been a stand-up comic?
Yeah.
And before Trump, were you doing impressions on stage all the time?
Yeah. I'd throw them in there. Yeah.
Since is Trump all you do, or
no, I do. Dr. Phil. Well, here's the deal here. I can't believe that there are people here that are dating people, they're in marriages, and they're just going nowhere. I mean, how the hell can you not cheat on your wife, Bill Clinton? I mean, look at her. So all different voices, that I started off when I was a kid, like doing Nicholson. Do you realize that I work? Do you like to be interrupted when you're dancing around in your little garden? Well, I work all the time, so never interrupt me, okay?
And that's the best part is you got all the mannerisms and facial expressions.
Even your face, your chin, you look like Nicholson when you do it.
I used to do a thing about there was a show I was watching once on TV, and it was relation. It was like one of these True Hollywood things, and it was like famous celebrities' kids finding love in Hollywood, and they actually had on Nicholson has a daughter. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, and she at the time she was like in her late 20s. And I didn't know he had a daughter, and I'd never seen her. And literally, she's frightening. Like, looks just like her dad.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's why you haven't heard of her.
And I was like, you imagine being on a blind date and you ring the doorbell and she comes out, yes, here I am. Well, I wore my tight dress tonight so you can see all my curves. Looks like Pilates is paying off. All right, here's the deal. First, you're going to wine and dine me, take me dancing, and whisk me around the dance floor, and then take me home and impregnate me. Get on the bed.
Oh, my gosh. I got to say, Jack Nicholson is one of the ones that you wish would still do movies.
I know, right?
And he's just done with it. He's just...
Well, they say he can't remember his lines. That's why he's in his 80s.
Is it a dementia thing? Oh, yeah.
He can't remember his line. Well, I think it would be even more hilarious.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Well, Chevy Chase, he can't remember his lines either. He's still doing stuff, But he must be needing the money more than Jack Nicholson, I guess.
Oh, probably, yeah, right. But Nicholson, I think it'd be more hilarious to have Nicholson not remember his line. Whatever comes out just comes out, and just make it a comedy.
Yeah, seriously.
Right?
Do a remake. Let him run.
Right. Do a remake of The Shining. Wendy, I think I might be home, or maybe you're home. Who the hell's here? Answer the door. I don't know where I am. And where's my damn axe?
Oh, that is so good. And I'm telling you, the facial expression matches. You look like you could be his kid.
So, you're, being a stand-up, we went through COVID, and you live in the tri-state area, New York City and New Jersey, and you get into a little bit of that, like New York City and the current conditions of it. Is it as bad as everybody says it is?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a city. I mean, I don't think it's that much different than it was. I mean, it was always like, look, there's a lot of homeless people. I don't see more now than I used to. It's always been mental health is a really big problem in New York City, and these people are just roaming around. But I do a joke about it. I've seen some crazy stuff. A couple of years ago saw a crazy guy in the train stabs a woman in the butt.
No.
On the train, in the butt. Now, not life-threatening, like a little,
Yeah.
I didn't sound like that. I just gave it a sound. Actually, when he did it, he looked at me.
That was not an accurate impression.
He looked at me, and I went, like he just shoved it in. And then he started running. The doors open, just true story. And I start, everyone, she's like, get him. No one knew what happened. It was like so early in the morning. She goes, get him. He stabbed me in the butt. And then no one did a thing. And I remember I was like, I feel like I should do something. So I start chasing this guy. But as I'm running after him, because my adrenaline's going, I'm starting to think like, wait a minute, this guy's got a knife.
He just stabbed somebody.
Stabbed someone in the butt. I have nothing. Like, I'll chase him, but I'm not gonna catch him. Like, I'm not that dumb.
What are you gonna do with him if you catch him?
Right. So like every time he would slow down, I would slow down. At one point, he stopped and I stopped.
You acted
and
like
you were like frozen. And then he realized, I get it. And it was like a little cat and mouse game,
But that's not exclusive to New York City. I was just in Miami in late January, and we were, my girlfriend and aunt and uncle and I were out having breakfast outside, and this woman came up, and she was clearly deranged, and I think it's everywhere.
Yeah, and then I always do a thing about and the tourists that come there are they're so in awe of New York City because they see it on TV, the Rockefeller and
I mean, easy victims to rob, right? They're just staring at the sky.
Dude, I've robbed a few, and I'm not even a mentally ill.
I've fallen victim to that, speaking of black holes, that black hole of like Times Square where you pull, if you have cash and you give 1 cent to somebody else, it's like,
they all swarm
It's
in.
like a seagull on the beach,
True.
It's like
I made $37 one night in 10 minutes. Subway to car. But they love that tourists are so clueless that this lady stopped me in the street like a couple of weeks ago, and she was like from, I don't know, out west, or she was very slow. Hi, how are you? I'm like, what does this lady want? She's like, me and my family, we were walking behind you down the street here. We just want to let you know you dropped your bottle back there. And I was like, yeah, I know, lady. I was littering. And I kicked her son, and I stole their camera.
It's 7:54. Comedian Bob DiBuono in studio with us this morning. He'll be at Fat Katz this weekend, tonight and tomorrow. Ben, can we get, let's give a pair of tickets to caller 4 and caller 5.
2 pairs.
315-736-0186. 1 pair for caller 4, 1 pair for caller 5. I don't want to go promising tickets that have already been sold here unless you're covering. So,
sure.
Caller 4 and caller 5, 315-736-0186. We'll come back with more of Bob's hilarity. There's so much more we're going to talk to him about. His impression of Trump is just unbelievable. Also, we've got some other stuff to cover this morning. We'll update you with a top-of-the-hour news update. And Andrew, don't let me forget the Joseph and Andrew Hobeika free money question of the day.
Oh, I won't.
Not only giving you tickets today, but somebody's going to get a chance to win $100. It's First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 AM and 106.9 FM.
Are you considering buying an electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid? Wouldn't it be nice to just fuel up at home with an EV charging station? Potentia is helping to make the convenience of charging easier for your home and your business. As a leader in green electrical projects, Potentia has completed hundreds of large sustainable commercial projects across New York State and are now getting into the residential market. No more stops at the gas station. Charge at home conveniently and economically. With New York State's zero emissions mandate by 2035, Potentia can help design, supply, even install residential and commercial EV charging systems at your home or your business. From permitting and design through the complete installation, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a turnkey EV charging solution with various packages and options available. They guarantee your satisfaction with all their products and their workmanship. Visit Potentia at 4685 Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford. Give them a call at 315-765-6184 or view their website at potentiamanagement.com.
Hi, this is Lori with Express Employment Professionals. Are you looking for a new job, a career change, a position within your field? Express Employment Professionals is the staffing firm for you. Express has multiple job opportunities across many industries throughout our region. Are you an IT professional? Find that perfect company now. CNC machinists, HVAC and boiler mechanics, we've got the job for you. Are you a warehouse worker, machine operator, forklift driver? Find a better job now. Industrial painters, sheet metal workers, find that new job now. Carpenters, welders, the skilled trades, you're in demand. Bookkeepers, supply chain specialists, and administrative professionals, start a new career today. Our process is easy. Go to expressmohawkvalley.com to complete our online application and apply now. Our recruiters will call you to set up a meeting. You can also call our office at 315-790-5723. Express Employment Professionals. We make it our business to put you to work.
Only 1 week left to file your taxes. But don't worry, Jackson Hewitt is racking up the assists. We guarantee your biggest tax refund and guarantee the accuracy of your return for life. So make a fast break to Jackson Hewitt. Our tax pros will get you filed or get you an extension before the deadline. Beat the clock and the crowds. Come in and file today. When every dollar matters, it matters who does your taxes.
Hello, I'm Joanne Moskal, Chief Operating Officer for Hospice and Palliative Care. At Hospice, we often hear that caregivers think of hospice as giving up, but what they are really doing is giving their loved one the opportunity to make the most of the time they have together. When a patient is appropriate for hospice, they've already been diagnosed with a terminal illness. You are not giving up on your loved one. Instead, you are increasing their care by compassionate nurses to ensure they remain comfortable throughout their disease. We want to know what is most important to you and what a good day looks like to the patient and to you. Together, we will design the care you want on your terms. We often hear, we wish we had called hospice sooner.
Hospice and Palliative Care, servicing Oneida, Herkimer, and Madison County. Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford, 315-735-6484, or visit us at hospicecareinc.org. Hospice and Palliative Care. When you need us most.
Adam and Grace finally made it to retirement. They decided this was their time. They drove in from Herkimer to Mattress Express in New Hartford on Commercial Drive in the Hannaford Plaza next to Red Lobster. They wanted to see the number bed they'd heard so much about. Adam had a bad back. He liked his side firm. We elevated his head, his feet, put the massage on medium. He said he hadn't felt that comfort in years. Grace liked her side softer. She was a 24. She had her head elevated slightly less, her feet a little higher, and the massage on high. They were thrilled to find out it had a 25-year industry-leading warranty. They qualified and signed up for the 5 years, no interest, no money down, so they didn't have to wait for their tax return. For their luxury reward, they chose a 65-inch flat-screen TV. They laid on the Purple and the Puffy, the big online brands while they were there, but the number bed was for them. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS or go to mattressexpressny.com or visit any store.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, just a few seconds left here in the 7 a.m. hour. We have plenty more coming with Bob DiBuono on this morning, and he'll be at Fat Katz Comedy Club coming up this weekend. You can still get tickets. Go to Fat Katz. I'm going to butcher the website, and I'm not going to be able to. It's fatkatzcomedyclub.com. I'm sorry. Why don't I just ask Ben? He works there.
Yes, fatkatzcomedyclub.com.
Good morning, Ben. WIBX 950, Utica, Rome.
Fox News, 21-year-old Jack Teixeira accused of leaking classified American intelligence online.
Teixeira served as part of the Air National Guard's 102nd Intelligence Wing based in Cape Cod. He's now going to be charged with the unauthorized removal of classified national defense information. A source tells Fox News that plans to arrest Teixeira were accelerated after the New York Times identified him Thursday morning as the leader of a Discord gaming group. That's That's where he allegedly began sharing documents with other young men in recent months, fellow users, and spreading those leaks even further.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff.
Chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Republican Congressman Mike Turner, stating, while we seek to learn the extent of classified information released, the House Intelligence Committee will examine why this happened, why it went unnoticed for weeks, and how to prevent future leaks.
Now, one of the leaks the Washington Post reports purportedly shows Russia claiming that China agreed to secretly provide lethal aid to help in its war in Ukraine, though today China's foreign minister claimed they will not be providing any weapons. North Korea is ratcheting up its nuclear threat, boasting the day after its recent missile launch.
North Korea's official Korean Central News Agency says the test of a solid-fuel intercontinental ballistic missile was supervised on site by Kim Jong-un, who described it as the most powerful weapon of his nuclear forces.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. This type of missile seen as harder to detect, capable of reaching the continental U.S. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, considered a possible Republican candidate for president, has signed a bill to ban abortions after fetal heart activities detected at about 6 weeks. But it won't take effect until the state Supreme Court rejects legal challenges to Florida's current 15-week ban. In Fort Lauderdale, the airport remains closed after flooding from 25 inches of rain.
The reopening of it has been set back several times due to recovery here on the airfield that has been flooded and also has expected debris as well.
That's Fox Weather's Brandy Campbell. America's listening to Fox News.
You know, our friends at Legacy Box, they make reclaiming your glory days as simple as 1, 2, 3. You can go around your house, your garage, your closet, and your attic, and guess what? You're going to find family photos and VHS tapes and camcorder tapes, and maybe even 8mm tapes. Look, the team at Legacy Box, they will hand digitize every single thing and put it up on a cloud or send you a thumb drive. Now, magnetic tape like VHS camcorder tape, you know, it's only made to last 10 to 20 years. It deteriorates very quickly, and that means you're losing family memories over time. Imagine your great-great-great-great-grandchildren hearing your voice and seeing your face and learning more about you. I would love that opportunity. By the way, if you do it today, you get 40% off the all-in-one digitizing kit. Take advantage of this offer today. Use Legacy Box whenever you're ready. Just go to legacybox.com/now, N-O-W. That's legacybox.com/now. And tell them your friend Sean Hannity sent you.
President Biden.
We have a mix of clouds and sun, up to 50 degrees right now. WIBX News time is 8:03. We'll have a high of 86 today. A closer look at your forecast coming up in just a few minutes. This news update is brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. For all of your mobile home needs, it's worth the trip. Just visit johnsmobilehomeparts.com. Well, Utica police say they have made an arrest after a shots-fired incident outside of a local bar. The exterior of an East Utica bar and several vehicles parked nearby were hit with bullets as police say a man inexplicably opened fire, shooting several rounds from a handgun. Despite the damage, there are no reports of injury. Utica police were alerted to the initial shots fired report outside of Rick's Place on Mohawk Street from a 911 call just after 9 o'clock Wednesday night. Arriving officers were directed to a home on the nearby 700 block of Lansing Street. Several shell casings were found out in the road. They soon located 37-year-old Tyrell Williams. Police say a search of his home found a loaded .40 caliber handgun, and that ammunition matched the shell casings found outside of the house. He was arrested on 3 charges of criminal possession of a weapon, along with 1 count of reckless endangerment. Congressman Brandon Williams, a Republican representing the 22nd Congressional District, is just 3.5 months into his first term, but already he has an announced opponent next time around. It is a Democrat from DeWitt, whose name you will recognize because she was in the primary last time. Sarah Clee Hood, a 41-year-old Air Force veteran looking to secure her party's nomination after coming up short last year. As she says, she's inspired to run again after having a strong showing in the Democratic primary last time around. The 22nd Congressional District covers all of Madison, Onondaga, and Oneida counties, along with a portion of Oswego County. For the first time since a show more than 30 years ago, the Red Hot Chili Peppers will be rocking out in Syracuse tonight. The popular band taking the stage at the JMA Wireless Dome. Last time they played in the area was back in 1991. Both the Mega Millions and Powerball jackpots still on the rise and combined to nearly $700 million now. The prize for Mega Millions tonight, $476 million. Whoever's lucky enough to win the Powerball tomorrow night will add $219 million to their bank account. Each ticket costs $2 to play, and those drawings are streamed live and online. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast: a nice day again on tap today, a high reaching the mid-80s. We're mostly cloudy right now. We will be gradually clearing through this morning with sunshine expected this afternoon, a high of 86 degrees. And we do have a bit of a warning as it relates to the air quality. There is an air quality alert in effect from 11 this morning until 11 tonight. Air quality levels outdoor are predicted to be greater than air quality index value of 100 for ozone. The air quality index or AQI was created as an easy way to correlate levels of different pollutants to one scale. So it's warming up today. Be mindful of that. Overnight tonight, we do have cloudy skies with a low of 56. Chance of rain tomorrow afternoon, a high in the upper 70s. Slight chance of showers and maybe a thunderstorm Sunday also. A high in the mid-70s. We start to cool off a bit next week, but Monday we have rain showers and a high of 60. Still not bad for mid-April. Right now, clouds, 52 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:06.
Good morning in sports. In spite of a strong start to the season, the Yankees were unable to overcome a 9-run first inning in their 11-2 loss to the Minnesota Twins in the Bronx. Johnny Brito's record dropped to 2-1 after being charged with 7 runs over 2/3 of an inning. I still think he has a ton of potential to be a really good starter. Yankees pitching continues to be a problem, however. Anthony Rizzo provided all of the offense with a pair of solo shots to bring his season total to 3. The Yanks hope to bounce back in the second game of the series. Nestor Cortez is slated to toe the rubber for New York tonight against the Twins. The Mets are on the West Coast for a 10-game road trip beginning tonight. They'll open a 3-game series at Oakland. The Jets are parting ways with one of their special teamers. New York has released punter Braden Mann. The move comes 1 week after Gang Green signed veteran Thomas Morstead. Mann had been the Jets punter for the past 3 seasons after being selected in the 6th round of the 2020 NFL Draft out of Texas A&M. Morstead spent his first 12 years with New Orleans before splitting the 2021 season between the Jets and Falcons and spending last year in Miami. The Nets' quest for a championship begins tomorrow afternoon. Brooklyn will be visiting the Philadelphia 76ers for Game 1 of the first round. The Nets are hoping for better results against their division rivals after losing each of the 4 meetings during the regular season, and the Knicks are hoping to have Julius Randle available for the start of the playoffs. After Wednesday's practice, head coach Tom Thibodeau mentioned that the forward is progressing in his recovery from an ankle injury, but is yet to be fully cleared. New York opens the postseason tomorrow night when it visits the Cleveland Cavaliers for Game 1 of the first round. NBA playoffs, always an exciting time. And I think that's really the only time, honestly, that I watch the NBA is the playoffs and the finals. But
same for me. Same with hockey and basketball.
Yeah.
And I know baseball is a very long season, but hockey and basketball, they go on forever. But in the playoffs, the guys give like 500,000%. I mean, they'll die out there on the court or the ice.
Right,
but,
yeah. Well, and it was exciting. My first ever NBA game last year was in Miami, and it was Game 5 Heat Celtics. And it's just the atmosphere there was
There's totally different energy.
Yeah,
right?
It definitely
Playoff.
is.
I went to a hockey game. It was just a regular season hockey game, and it was kind of slow.
Yeah.
And then when you watch it during the playoffs, totally, because the crowd is making them.
And it depends on the arena too. I mean, even though the Heat Celtics series, I think was. I mean, they were going back and forth, but just to be in the arena, it literally was electric. Yeah. It was the FTX arena, and we all know how that ended up. So like their playoff run, came up a little short.
Yeah. We are joined in studio by comedian Bob DiBuono. He's at Fat Katz Comedy Club tonight, and he has the greatest Donald Trump impression you have ever heard or will ever hear. He'll be doing some of that for us this morning, and it's part of his performance coming up this weekend. Be listening. You might have another chance to win tickets. We have a chance at your free money question of the day. Andrew, I feel like I'm forgetting. We have more content here for Bob. Bob, I have more. So we're going to be joined by somebody from Fox News in a moment. Apparently, Democrats, including Ro Khanna from California, are calling out Dianne Feinstein. They're saying that
she's even calling herself out, actually.
She's incompetent and she should resign.
Yeah.
Remind you of anybody?
Yeah.
What do you think, Mr. Former President?
And by the way, we call them Democrats. Democrats, because when I win, they're going to poop their pants. I can tell you that. Major diarrhea, right? They're going to lose it.
How are the poll numbers following the indictment?
Well, the polls have really gone through the roof. It's unbelievable. They're getting bigger. I hope they arrest me again.
Well, that might be the case with Letitia James. She's and Alvin Bragg.
Letitia Peekaboo James, we call her. Peekaboo James.
Why is that?
She likes to peek around, and she's really terrible. She's terrible, really. All of them. They've been weaponized. You know that.
Yeah.
And by the way, Melania wanted to be here today. She sends her love.
We wanted Melania to be here today.
She sends her love. We get along very, very well because she doesn't speak English.
Well, and it was so hard for us to hear about her closet being invaded.
Well, you heard about
during
that,
the
right?
raid.
Well, it was terrible because they said they wanted top secret, but then it went into her closet. I think they wanted Victoria's Secret. I mean, we caught them cold. You know that. We have it on video. We caught them cold. We have these horny FBI agents coming out. One of them was wearing a boots. The other one was like sniffing her bras. It was terrible. It was really terrible. And we caught them cold, so we're going to fix it, and we're going to do it quickly.
I'm glad. Yeah, you got to fight back.
Well, I never slept with Stormy. You know that, right?
Right, yeah, no. You didn't?
I never slept with her. Well, she slept. I was up all night holding it a fart. You were eating like tacos all night. I said, let me hold it in. Before I crap the bed, right?
Yeah, because she might wake up at any moment,
Well, we call her horse face. You know that. She put the word horse in horse face. She's really terrible. Some horses actually got mad at me when I said that.
Bob DiBuono, that is so good, man.
And that's the thing is, like, you have so much material. It's like, he lost the election, so he's going to go away. Said nobody ever.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it was like, now there's even more, I think.
Right. And if he didn't even become president, like my mother's like, it doesn't even matter. He'll always be in the news because he loves to be in the news.
Yeah.
So, and God forbid someday when he's not on this earth anymore, he's going to be like Elvis. People are going to want me to show up like Elvis.
I know, exactly.
Right? It's never going to end.
You're going to marry people in Vegas as Trump, Like
and they do hire me for weddings. Isn't that hilarious? I had to go up and read someone's, what do you call it? Their whole...
The vows.
The vows as Trump.
Can
you believe? But I changed it. I go, do you promise to be with this horrible person who's probably going to gain a lot of weight, who's going to be a fat, horrible loser the rest of your life, spend horrible many years raising stupid kids on drugs? Flunkies. That's what we call them, flunkies.
Oh, my gosh. Well, and it's so funny. We talked about, like, how beloved by everybody. You mentioned the rap star that you toured with who had that song.
Yeah.
Well, he was in rap songs in a positive light pre-2016. So it's just kind of it was kind of amazing to see the whole switch.
And then they called me back to do Coachella right before COVID, 2019.
Yeah.
To do Trump at Coachella. How cool was that?
Yeah.
So cool. and they were so happy to see me. The same group that I went with the first time. So that was great. So a lot of hip hop guys love Trump. They just they just don't want to say it because it's not cool.
Well, and
because they've been told to hate him.
You had some prominent hip hop
Snoop
figures.
Dogg,
Ice Cube,
Ice-T, or Ice
Cube.
Yeah,
I think they go well together.
Yeah.
But Ice Cube and Lil Wayne were big time Trump guys because they got what he was, I think, trying to do. So.
Yeah.
Bob is sitting in with us for the rest of this hour. Don't tune your dial. You'll miss a hilarious line. So funny. That impression is so good. We'll talk more to him about what else he does. Or can you make a full-time living off of just parroting Donald Trump all the time?
I'm sure you could.
And then we've got some, I guess, as I mentioned, some more possible content for the show tonight because fellow Democrats turning on Dianne Feinstein. We'll talk about that. And I don't know, they're pushing the electric vehicles, but I see here there's a push for mandatory in-car breathalyzers. Only a few years away. We'll talk about that as well coming up. It's 8:15. Keeler back live Monday. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 AM and 106.9 FM.
For your financial advice to be useful, it needs to be tailored to how you live your life. I'm Jim McGuire, branch manager of Baird's Utica office. At Baird, we provide investment and financial planning for all areas of your life: retirement, family, and estate plans, and charitable giving. Plus, we coordinate our advice with your tax and legal advisors, so you can be confident all your plans are working together for you. Discover the Baird difference. Visit BairdUtica.com.
Power Sports of Utica is holding its grand opening event on the 28th and 29th of April. We have over 350 vehicles in stock and incoming for you to see. Come celebrate with us at the store over great food, drink, and entertainment. We can't wait to see you there. It's our Power Sports of Utica grand opening, April 28th and 29th, with over 150 new and used Harley-Davidsons in our pool. 0% down, 3.99 APR on select Harleys. Grand opening discounts on boots, helmets, shirts, and apparel.
Hi, this is Tom Cole from Gates Cole Insurance with exciting news. We're expanding with a couple of new offices in our area. One new location is Tall Pines Insurance in Boonville. They're another independent insurance agency that takes pride in making customers happy. That fits our culture at Gates Cole perfectly. Here's Greg Lee from the newest Gates Cole location, Tall Pines Insurance in Boonville.
The reason why I got into insurance was I wanted to allow my father the opportunity to retire and give back to my community. You know, we had the Boonville fire that wiped out a large area down here for us a few years ago, and so we showed up at the fire. You know, we were right there, ground zero, with our insureds, who made sure that they were taken care of quickly. You know, we were able to get people the money that they needed to cover their expenses from that loss.
For insurance for your home, auto, business, and just about everything else, trust your local independent insurance agency, Gates Cole Insurance, proudly representing Finger Lakes Fire and Casualty Company of Trumansburg, New York.
Honey, why are you peeking out the window and spying on the neighbors?
I can't stop watching what they're doing to their house. Look at that. They added a sunroom and put in a pool. Do you think they won the lottery?
No, not the lottery. Julie and Jeff got a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank. They're using the equity from their home to renovate.
Really?
Yes, Adirondack Bank has home equity rates as low as 3.99% annual percentage rate. You can access the equity in your home to fund almost anything.
Huh. Maybe we should call Adirondack Bank. What about a new kitchen? Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the roof. Oh, and even take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about. And, of course, I need a new car.
Slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank.
Stop into your local Adirondack Bank for more information on home equity loan rates as low as 3.99% APR. Or call 877-404-2265 for credit costs and terms. Apply today at AdirondackBank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, 8:18 on a Friday morning. First news Keeler in the morning on WIBX. So, Ben, I have too many screens going here, and I normally don't sit here in the morning. Do we have our guest on the line?
We do not. I get a busy signal right now.
Okay, all right. Try it one more time and let me know.
When you get a hold of him, say that his former boss is.
He's going to refire him if he doesn't get on the phone with us.
What was his title for Trump?
Former special assistant.
Oh.
I mean, that's an interesting thing is, you know, you've heard personal advisor, political consultant, former special assistant. President Trump had a lot of...
Well, special because he was an idiot. he's special. He's like special. He's not smart.
Oh, my gosh.
So, you know, obviously you've got a lot of potential opponents here. The primary field is filling up.
Well,
I know
we have
Fox
Meatball Ron. We have Meatball Ron.
He's very popular in Florida.
He's round. He's 3'2". He's like not a big guy. And we got the other one. We have Mike Pence, who, you know, he's a great guy. He's a family man. I used to like him a lot. I still like him. But, you know, anyone who was debating somebody, remember the fly landed on his head? I couldn't believe it.
I know, that was, it was there for a long time.
Everyone thought it was on their TV, and they're like, what the hell is happening? And then I went over, and I couldn't believe it. The fly landed on his head for like 3 hours. I was like, this is terrible. This is really a disgrace.
Any truth that was a Russian drone?
It could have been a Russian drone. Or it could have just been a fly taking a crap on Mike Pence's head. And that was a big crap, right?
Yeah,
that was a big crap.
Exactly. And then what else you got? Tim Scott, you know,
Well,
he's got the exploratory committee.
He's a nice guy. Tim, right? He's a nice guy. I like Tim. He doesn't have the popularity I have, but I think he's a nice guy. Who else do we
Chris
have?
Christie might be.
Chris Christie. People like Chris, but he's a big guy, and he probably won't. He'll probably have a heart attack by then. In 2016, nobody thought I'd win. Nobody. And we had 17 candidates. You remember that, right?
It was
We had
a big
Boring
field.
Jeb and Little Marco, and we had 17 candidates. And then it went down to I think 12 because Chris Christie ate about 5 of them.
He was very disappointed in you on January 6th.
Well, I said to him, I said, you don't belong in the White Castle. I said, I said, when he endorsed me, he was supposed to be in the Rose Garden. He was in the Olive Garden. I said, where the hell is he? He would have been he would have been at January 6th, but he couldn't fit inside the door. They wouldn't let him in. He's the one guy that couldn't get in. Can you believe it?
I know. Can you believe that? Oh, my God.
He was so fat, but he lost a lot of weight. Now he's down to 1,200 pounds.
Comedian Bob DiBuono in studio this morning doing an incredible Donald Trump impersonation.
Are you?
Go ahead.
Are you on TikTok now?
Yeah, I go on I get a lot of viral videos on there.
Do
Yeah.
you think Trump's going to sue you someday because this has kind of opened so many doors for you? He's going to say this is.
I think he's going to have me as a stand-in at his rallies. He'll be like, "Look, I'm going to be in Ohio. You go to Pennsylvania. You give a rally in Pennsylvania. I'll give a rally in Ohio.
We're at 2 places at once.
This is like political appropriation going on.
I thought the greatest thing ever would be me to come out for fun for 5 minutes and do him at a rally, and then he comes out and moves me out of the way.
Right.
I'm like mini me.
What does Jimmy always get him out of here? Get him out.
Get him out.
Get him out of here.
Get him out.
Yeah. Get him the hell out.
We've got Cordelia on the line from Rome. Good morning, Cordelia. How are you?
Good morning, everybody.
She
and
sounds
Andrew,
beautiful,
glad
by the way.
to see you.
Cordelia, it's good to hear from you.
And I thoroughly enjoying the comedian this morning.
So beautiful. She sounds beautiful.
Thank
Cornelia, I want you to know.
Hey, well,
excuse me. I'm looking at you very closely to be my fourth wife.
No. I don't want to be the wife.
Okay, the fifth. You could be the fifth.
Cordelia is one of your biggest fans. You know that.
Well, she's a great woman. I could tell already. She's a great woman. Smart, talented, beautiful.
Yep. Well, she listens to this show, so I mean, that's that's a good thing.
Not everyone's smart, but at least she's beautiful, right?
So, Cordelia, does President Trump have your support once again?
I don't know right now. It's kind of messy, the whole thing, and we just have to sit back and see how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
But
well, if the cookie's crumbling, it's because I'm eating it.
Oh no. And anyways, it's kind of sticky right now. It really is. And then I don't know, all those candidates that are coming out. I like Haley. I like her.
Yeah. Well,
And
I think Cordelia, you bring up a good point where a lot of people are. I think with they love Trump, they love what he did, but it's almost like a lot of people are starting to think it's maybe time to move on.
Kind of, yeah.
Or maybe they don't want the drama or
the baggage that comes
with chaos,
it.
And
Yeah, and it's going to be a real harsh campaign trail this year for all of them.
Well, and for Democrats, it's interesting because do you want him to not run, or do you want him to run?
Right. And
I mean, that's the truth. I mean, if he's not the candidate, do you really have, that big of a shot to win? If he's not the candidate, I mean, there are a lot of people I think that could beat Biden very easily.
I keep saying to Republicans that I know that are like, "Oh yeah, he's going to be the nominee." I'm like, "So, and you're for that? Yeah, I can't wait." Well, then you don't want to win, right?
Yeah.
When C.P. Joe Biden became president, he said, "I want to hit the ground running." We didn't know that was face first on a metal staircase getting on Air Force One. He doesn't even know he's alive, right? He doesn't even know he's alive. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know who he is.
Oh, my God.
You know, he was at a rally. He kissed his sister on the lips. He thought it was his wife. You know that, right?
All right, Cordelia, thank you.
Maybe we'll see you this weekend. Maybe you're going to be down there tonight. It's going to be a great time and a lot of laughs. Bob DiBuono going to be at Fat Cats this weekend. Thank you, Cordelia.
You're welcome, and take care, everybody.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye. Wow.
But that is the interesting thing, right? It's what do they want more? I mean, if they're really convinced that Biden could beat him again, why all this, the indictment and stuff, and do you really want him out of the race?
Who are you referring to as they? I guess that's what the issue is.
I don't. I mean, there are a lot of Democrats who are against what Alvin Bragg did.
Yeah.
On principle and the fact that they truly believe that there is no case, but that will play out. But it's. Do you want him running against Biden, somebody that has beat him before, or do you want to put your chances against a Ron DeSantis or a Tim Scott?
Here's what I think we need to do. Like when you open up a deck of cards, right, and they're all in order, and then there's two jokers. One's Biden, one's Trump. Throw them out, reshuffle the deck, and I'll take anybody who comes out, really, to be honest with you. No disrespect,
no offense,
Mr. President.
Well, it's really, this is a terrible show. You know that. It's really terrible.
Really
it's gone downhill dramatically. You know that. It's like CNN. I call it the CNN of radio station. It's the corrupt news radio network. That's what it is.
Boy. Well, we're going to try to buy back some of our audience. We're going to do our free money question of the day here. 315-736-0186, your chance to win $100. Will there be a U.S. currency someday with President Trump's face on it?
That would be interesting. What would be like the
$1 million bill?
Yeah,
no, it would have to be the billion, right?
You wouldn't do
maybe the $1 billion bill. The trillion.
You wouldn't do anything less
bill.
than million.
Have to be trillion. Buttigieg is on the what is he? He's on the $2 bill, right?
Yeah, right.
He's on the $2 bill.
We'll take caller 5-736-0186. I didn't mean to cut you off, Mr. President.
Oh, no, go ahead.
We'll take caller 5 for your chance to win $100. I didn't give another number, did I?
No, you didn't.
I'm laughing so hard I can't
You
even
gave
focus
yourself
on what
one
I'm
number.
saying. I'm just waiting for him to hit
By
me
the
with
way,
the
you know,
next line.
tonight's going to be a tremendous turnout. It's going to be really, they're telling me there's going to be thousands and thousands of people that will be pouring in. And CNN, they'll never show it. They'll never show it.
No, they won't.
You know, their ratings, they're way down. They're lower than Harvey Weinstein's zipper. And that's pretty low, right? That is pretty low. There's only one network I watch. You know that. You know what it is. Yell at it. What is it? You know what it is?
Oh, it's ONN.
Wrong. You're stupid. What is it?
It's got to be Fox News.
Wrong. You're drunk. It's the Playboy Channel. I love the Playboy Channel, right?
So speaking of Harvey Weinstein, I cannot reveal my source, and I will not, but I have unconfirmed reports.
Yeah,
he's in Mohawk now.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
He's in what?
He's in Mohawk. He's right here in Mercy.
Mohawk Correctional Facility in Rome, New York.
You're kidding.
Yeah, like 15 minutes, 12 minutes away.
No way, really?
Yeah,
he
he
go
just
visit him.
Yeah.
We should, yeah. Well, and there was the story back when he was being transported to another prison. There's some rule where if he has to stop to use the bathroom in transit, you can't just go to like the throughway stop and have him take a leak. You got to go to another.
Oh, they can't have the prisoner in the McDonald's
right?
line?
Exactly.
No way.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Well,
When
I
did
mean,
they
you can
change
still,
that?
they have a work crew or something, but like not Harvey. So they have to stop at a prison to let him use the bathroom.
Oh, no.
And he gave like the whole prison COVID.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
That
and
was
syphilis.
Comedian Bob DiBuono in studio. We got your chance to win $100 when we come back. Maybe a chance at more tickets. And I'm telling you, that impression is so good. We're winding down the week here. A Friday morning, 8:30. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Are you considering buying an electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid? Wouldn't it be nice to just fuel up at home with an EV charging station? Potentia is helping to make the convenience of charging easier for your home and your business. As a leader in green electrical projects, Potentia has completed hundreds of large sustainable commercial projects across New York State and are now getting into the residential market. No more stops at the gas station. Charge at home conveniently and economically. With New York State's zero emissions mandate by 2035, Potentia can help design, supply, even install residential and commercial EV charging systems at your home or your business. From permitting and design through the complete installation, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a turnkey EV charging solution with various packages and options available. They guarantee your satisfaction with all their products and their workmanship. Visit Potentia at 4685 Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford. Give them a call at 315-765-6184 or view their website at potentiamanagement.com.
Here at Lee Baldwin & Company, we're always doing the math.
So we're asking everyone to take the 4% challenge. And here's how it works. You look at your savings, IRA, or other investment accounts and see if you're getting close to 4% interest on your cash. If not, just give us a call for a comparison of options available today. For your trouble, we'll offer you a cup of coffee for taking the time to hopefully have your money work harder for you. Oh, and don't forget to ask about even higher yielding CDs. Please call us at 315-734-1410, 315-734-1410, or visit our website at investtoday.com, investtoday.com. We're a member of FINRA and SIPC, and all our CDs are FDIC insured. So take the 4% challenge and have your money work harder for you. And as always, you do the dreaming and we'll do the math. Investtoday.com.
We invest in Herkimer and Oneida counties. We work with the community to make things better for old and young alike. Today, tomorrow, and in the years to come. Every day, we put the community's long-term savings to work. Who are we? We are the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties. FoundationHOC.org. We're your community foundation, working to build a vibrant region with opportunity for all.
COVID is still spreading. Don't let your guard down. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID, but your risk is greater if you're over 65, if you're obese, have heart or lung disease, diabetes, or another underlying health condition. Lower your risk of serious illness, hospitalization, and death with the most up-to-date COVID vaccines, including the booster. Learn more at ny.gov/booster.
Power Sports of Utica is holding its grand opening event on the 28th and 29th of April. We have over 350 vehicles in stock and incoming for you to see. Come celebrate with us at the store over great food, drink, and entertainment. We can't wait to see you there.
It's our Power Sports of Utica grand opening, April 28th and 29th, with over 150 new and used Harley-Davidsons in our pool. 0% down, 3.99 APR on select Harleys. Grand opening discounts on boots, helmets, shirts, and apparel.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel, évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Hi, this is Bill Cole from Gates Cole Insurance with exciting news. We are expanding with a couple of new offices in our area. One new location is North Country Estates Insurance in Lowville. They are another independent insurance agency that takes pride in making customers happy and fits our culture at Gates Cole perfectly. Here is William Schaub from the newest Gates Cole agency, North Country Estates Insurance in Lowville.
Working with us as an independent agent with this many companies, we will often call our clients and say, we're going to reduce your premium if you like. We have the companies that do well in New York and specifically this area. The coverages that we provide are commercial and personal insurance. That's the home, the auto, ATV, motorcycle. There's nothing more fun than taking care of a customer and being able to tell them that we're able to save them some money.
Proudly representing Finger Lakes Fire and Casualty Company of Trumansburg, New York. Gates Cole Insurance. We'll take care of you.
At AmeriQ Credit Union, we believe real connections matter, today more than ever. Whether it's connecting you to the right solutions to achieve your goals, new technology to make banking easier, or a real person to help you succeed, we'll be here. In person, online, or anywhere in between, creating meaningful connections that make you feel like you belong. AmeriQ and you. Let's connect. Membership restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, back here, First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. We are having a great time without Bill today, I have to say.
Yes, and one of these times I'd like to come in and I will when Bill's here. You know, it's just.
What, are you going to kick me out, huh?
Yeah, well, listen, you deserve to have some time off as well.
That's right.
Well, I recommend that Bill never be here. He should really never be here. No one's missing him, I can tell you that.
Well, I miss him.
You hear the voice of hilarious comedian and the best Trump impression you will find. That is Bob DiBuono. Let's try to give away $100 here. The former President Trump's face is not on the bill, but you can spend it all the same.
It smells like a strip club. It came out of my pocket.
Careful, you're under indictment.
I think we have Bill on the line here. Good morning, Bill. How are you?
Well, and yourself?
Good. Your chance to win $100 from the Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika, on Genesee Street in Utica, 724-1600.
That's right.
That's right. You've called them plenty of times.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, many times.
For real estate and other purposes.
Bill, I think you can get this question. You have the
I've got the timer.
Okay.
You had to remind me for a second.
There you go. I knew you were getting rusty over there.
Yep.
All right, Bill, here's your question. Your chance to win $100, and we'll throw in a pair of tickets for Fat Cats this weekend if you can go on Saturday night.
You're going to need to make sure those 4, 5, and 6 are up.
4, 5, and 6. There we go. I'm telling you, I normally don't sit here. Okay, Bill, here's your question. Former President Donald Trump, before he entered the world of politics, made some movie appearances. He appeared as Waldo's father in which 1994 kids film? In this 1994 kids film, he appeared as Waldo's father. Ready, go.
Where's Waldo?
No, guess again.
I don't know.
The answer is The Little Rascals. He was in The Little Rascals.
I forgot it. Can you believe? I thought it was Debbie Does Dallas.
Bill,
Trump doesn't even know.
No, he forgot.
I forgot it. I've done so many movies and so many TV shows and lots of stuff, and I forgot about
Your
it.
favorite's The View, though, right?
Well, The View they're terrible. They're really horrible. Joy Behar is a flunky. Everyone knows that.
You love Whoopi, though, no?
Well, you got Whoopi, and she's been, they're not renewing it. You know that, right?
Oh, really? Well, she's
They're
had
letting
some
it go.
controversy,
And then you got the other one. What was the other one? The total pig. Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, yeah, your favorite.
Rosie O'Donnell. She's really terrible, really terrible. Under my administration, no one gives me the credit. We built up the military so beautifully. We had shiny bombs and beautiful missiles, and our military was scarier than I think Rosie O'Donnell at a nude beach.
So I don't mean to interrupt, Mr. President. Hold on one second here. Bill, you've got a Utica all-in-one food and fun card coming, a $25 gift card. It's good at Aquavino, Babe 72, Taylor and the Cook, Adirondack Bank Center concession stands, and more. So I'll send you over to Ben. He'll get your information. And if you'd like some tickets to tomorrow night's 9 o'clock show, 9:15 show at Fat Cats Comedy Club with the hilarious Bob DiBuono, we'll hook you up with those tickets as well. Ben, hook them up. Thank you, Bill. And we'll quickly transition here. I didn't see that our guest was on the line. This is Ryan Thomas Sandel, and we're talking about, we keep hearing about electric vehicles, and they're considering maybe mandatory in-car breathalyzers, and that coming sooner probably than the mandate for EVs. Some details on that. Good morning, Ryan. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? I'm doing well.
Very good. Sorry for making you wait there, but our former president would not stop talking, so I just didn't know.
I get that. That's understandable.
So tell us about this story here. What is going on with? Would this be if you've had a prior conviction, or are they saying for everybody you would have a breathalyzer in your car?
So they're saying it's going to be for everybody. It's for every vehicle that's going to be manufactured after a certain date, but it's not quite a breathalyzer. So like a breathalyzer has the hose that you blow into and it detects what your blood alcohol is. That's an active monitoring system. So what this new rule is it's mandating a passive monitoring system. And so it's something that the car's doing without you having to do anything. And it sounds like it's going to monitor through either infrared cameras watching your eye movements or seeing if your car's swerving from lane to lane. And if it detects something that it considers an impairment, it would take efforts to immobilize the vehicle or slow it down or something like that.
It's really crazy. Probably there's already technology, and this may sound conspiratorial, but it's almost like what's to say that there's not some sort of surveillance in your vehicle already or with the technology that there is today to even be able to hack your car?
Hold on there, Jesse Ventura. Wait a second. So I did hear that with like electric vehicles that they have an ability to basically disable the car.
Well, that's what I'm
Jimmy
saying.
Fallon was talking about this the other day. So, but I find this interesting when you talk about the eye monitoring because it's not just alcohol. You could be under the influence of a pill that you couldn't really test.
Well, they call it the Hunter Biden. The Hunter Biden, right?
That's right.
It knows when you're drunk and you're higher than a kite and you're with Russian strippers. They know it.
Yeah, they know.
It knows it very quickly. It stops the car.
So where
copies
are we,
of hard drives and things like that.
Where are we with this? This has to be. This is a proposal currently. Are only certain manufacturers going to be doing this? Who are we talking about having to do this?
So it's going to be every manufacturer, but right now it's just a proposal. So there'll be a 3-year window from when this bill gets enacted that would give manufacturers time to kind of hammer out the details of how this is going to work. And then once they get those details hammered out and the regulations get finalized, there's another 3-year window for manufacturers to come into compliance. So there's really still 6 years for the car companies to figure out how are we going to do this. And you got a couple car companies like General Motors and Nissan that are already playing around with this technology. They already have some of these passive monitoring systems in their car. And so the technology's there. They just have to figure out how to implement it in a way that can be more accurate in terms of figuring out if somebody's impaired or are they just tired or what's the story.
Yeah, because it's funny because you're an attorney and I'm sure you've had cases before. I mean, right? Everybody's innocent, right? But I mean, you've had people who were wrongly accused or something was misunderstood with their behavior, and so talk about that.
Yeah, no, it's happened a lot where I've gotten a client that is charged with a DWI because the officers feel that the person is intoxicated, but in reality they're just having some type of medical event or health thing that's causing them to seem impaired. And so that's where the interplay of monitoring the car is fine, but how are you going to detect is that impairment from just the car, malfunctioning or the person being overly exhausted or how are you going to figure that out? And that's why there's this 6-year window for them to try to find out the balancing point.
Sure.
I have a question, by the way. Is this going to be in all cars or just the ones made in China? Because I think it should just be the ones in China.
Yeah. Another spy element.
Well, I don't know if you really want just the ones in China doing that, because then you've got all of this information probably being fed back to the Chinese. That sounds worse than the original plan.
That's true. That's true. Very bright of you. And he's an attorney. You might be my attorney. You know that, right?
Well, if he ever gets sued in Texas, I mean, he's your guy, right?
This guy's a great guy. I like this guy already.
Ryan Thomas Sandel, thank you so much for joining us. You have the former president's endorsement. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Y'all be good. Stay on the right side of the bars.
Thank you, man.
Great man.
That's
a great line. Stay on the other side, the right side of the bars.
The right side of the bars, yeah. And Mr. President, stay on the right side of the political
I stand
aisle.
on top of the bar. Can you believe it?
And you don't even drink.
I'm trying to get my money back from the stupid stripper.
Comedian Bob DiBuono in studio. He's performing at Fat Katz this weekend. I am looking forward to it. My face is hurting. My cheeks right here are locking up
Yeah,
from
if you've
laughing
ever
so
had
hard this morning.
questions for President Trump, you could call in 315-736-0186. I'm sure you'd be open to some questions.
I love questions. I lots of answers. Bring the questions.
Bring
them on.
It's funny. I've seen you've done a lot of the I don't remember, I plead the fifth type stuff lately, Mr. President.
I don't even remember what you just said a minute ago. What did you just tell me? I can't remember what he just said to me.
I don't
Can you believe
remember.
it?
I don't remember
it.
What do you feel, or how do you feel about all this stuff about Mike Pence and Biden having these classified documents after the whole Mar-a-Lago
so
thing?
any president can have a classified, and I declassified it. You know that, right?
Yes.
You can declassify it. And look what happened with Sleepy Joe. They found him in his house. They found him in the garage with his beautiful Corvette. They found him in the Corvette. They found him in his pants. They were everywhere. They found like 3 documents in his underwear. He doesn't know what's happening, and it's really terrible because it's a 2-tiered system. Everyone knows that. I mean, they raided my place. It was a raid. It was really an invasion. I call it a coup. It was really a coup. You could call it a coup. Thousands and thousands of people. The guns are drawn, lights blaring, shooting everybody. It was terrible. It was really terrible. And they took all of Melania's clothes. It was so terrible. She went to bed that night. She said, Donnie, is what she calls me, Donnie. I said, what? She said, they took my bras. They took my shoes. They took my nightgowns. She said, I got nothing to wear to bed. So I gave her my boxer shorts. I gave her my long black socks. And I went to bed, right? I went to bed. And I woke up the next day. I forgot I gave her to her. I thought I was sleeping next to Mitch McConnell. I said, who the hell? Who the hell is in my bed? Get him the hell out, right?
Get him out.
Who the hell?
Richard is on the line in Utica, and he wants to talk to former President Donald Trump this morning.
What's his name?
Richard. Good morning.
Richard. We call him Dick.
Good morning, Donald. How are you this morning?
Oh, great. I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
Pretty good for next president.
Pretty good till what? Till I'm president again? Well, I'll be president again very quickly. Don't worry about it.
This is Dick Nixon on the line here.
Oh, it's
That's
Nixon.
correct.
Oh, it's Nixon. Okay. Well, I
Well,
thought
you're doing well.
you know, by the way, I hate to say it, but your name comes up at parties, and I've said to a lot of people, I've defended you. I said Nixon was a pretty good president. And I
right.
said Reagan and even Lincoln, and people said to me, this guy the other day, he said, Donald, he said, sir. I said, yeah. He said, you were the greatest president. I said, really? But what about Lincoln? I think Lincoln was the greatest. He goes, you're better than Lincoln. I said, why is that? He goes, because you didn't get shot. I said, I think you're right about that. I never got shot, right? Winners don't get shot.
That's a good point.
Winners don't get shot.
But
I just wanted to congratulate you on being such a great damn president.
Thank you, Richie. We love you, Richie. Maybe you'll be
Well,
my
you have a
VP.
great
We'll
day.
see what happens, right?
That's right.
All
We'll
right.
see you again.
All right,
Thank you,
we'll see you
Richard.
very soon. We love you.
That is, thank you, Richard in Utica, playing the
I
role
didn't
of
know he was living here in Utica.
Richard Nixon there. You guys
We
are
don't call it Utica. We call it uterus.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, there's never been a truer statement for Richard Nixon to say, I am not a crook, living in New York with bail reform. I mean, it's just easy. You could do whatever you want, and you're right back out on the street. You know?
Now I'm the president of law and order. You know that. The president of law and order. We have to get rid of the crime is up. It's terrible. You know, we have to get rid of the bad ones, criminals, arsonists. I call them bad actors. That's what they are. Bad. And when I say bad actors, I'm not talking about Keanu Reeves. You know that. We're talking about like horrible people, criminals, and people. You can't even go out now to get like a quart of milk. You get hit over the head with a hammer. They're throwing you in front of a bus. It's terrible. It's really terrible.
It is awful. And then, Governor Hochul, you're not a fan of hers, are you?
Governor Hopeless. You mean Governor Hopeless? She's terrible because she was protecting Governor Cuomo, who was really, I think, one of the worst governors in the history of the country, perhaps the world. You know, he's a pervert. You know that, right? He's a complete pervert. Everyone knows that. You got to like hide your girlfriend, your wife, because he loves to hug everybody. He hugs the hell out of them, by the way. He won't even let go. He loves to hug. He has touched more women than the Hallmark Channel, I can tell you that. And that's a lot.
That's a lot. All right.
We'll take a break and we'll wrap it up for this morning. What a week. I'm so glad you're in studio. I had a stressful week, and this laughter is just kind of breaking it up for me. So I appreciate that big time. I also want to mention, let's do a 4-top. I'm trying to balance here because I know people are buying tickets, and I'm trying to give them away. I'm not trying to put Bill in a bad spot here. So Bill is on the line in Whitesboro. Hang with us just for a minute. And then I think we can do a 4-top for the 9:15 show Saturday night. So, what Ben, what do you want to do on that? What caller?
Let's do caller number 4.
All right, caller 4 for 4 tickets to see Bob DiBuono tomorrow night at Fat Katz, the 9:15 show. Don't call if you can't go. 4 tickets. We'll take a quick timeout and wrap up the week, I'm sure, with another hilarious ending to the next segment. I can feel it coming. It's First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Power Sports of Utica is holding its grand opening event on the 28th and 29th of April. We have over 350 vehicles in stock and incoming for you to see. Come celebrate with us at the store over great food, drink, and entertainment. We can't wait to see you there.
It's our Power Sports of Utica grand opening April 28th and 29th with over 150 new and used Harley-Davidsons in our pool. 0% down, 3.99 APR on select Harleys. Grand opening discounts on boots, helmets, shirts, and apparel.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C by treating it with Linzess. Then you could start proactively managing your constipation with belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms. Talk to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
It's hard to know what to do when you lose a loved one. You want to provide a lasting tribute, but you need someone you can trust to help you navigate all the options. Mohawk Valley Monuments has been providing comfort and delivering quality memorials in our community for the last 85 years.
Hi, I'm Benjamin Morgan.
And I'm Nicole Cornacchia Morgan.
Owners of Mohawk Valley Monuments. We pride ourselves in continuing to deliver the highest standards of workmanship and customer service. We strive to make things easier for you while still showing your family the utmost of respect.
Start a conversation about your wishes to help make it even easier on your loved ones. Call us today and we'll get prepared together.
Mohawk Valley Monuments has experience with all the local cemeteries. From simple grave markings to intricate family mausoleums, they give everyone the same personalized service. For expert memorial design, call today, 315-724-7629, or go to mvmonuments.com. Mohawk Valley Monuments, LLC, Old Route 5S, just past the Kitless Restaurant in Frankfort.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Spring has sprung. It's the Strong Spas Factory Store Spring Sale all month long. Sangertown Square. Blowout prices on floor models and factory recertified spas. Clearing out the floor to make room for more. Immediate delivery. It's a spring super sale at Strong Spas. Visit the largest spa showroom in the country. Huge savings. Price to move. See for yourself. Find them in Sangertown Square and ask about their financing options for credit qualified buyers. Get in your spa at Strong Spas. Hurry, these spas won't last.
Only 1 week left to file your taxes. But don't worry, Jackson Hewitt is racking up the assists. We guarantee your biggest tax refund and guarantee the accuracy of your return for life. So make a fast break to Jackson Hewitt. Our tax pros will get you filed or get you an extension before the deadline. Beat the clock and the crowds. Come in and file today. When every dollar matters, it matters who does your taxes.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
$8:54, winding down. Boy, I'd like to go back and do another 3 hours of this show. I tell you, my cheeks are hurting from laughing so hard. Comedian Bob DiBuono in studio, and Andrew said to me this morning, he goes, I know you look. Andrew used to do the booking. Right. So and I don't by any like I miss when you booked the show. First of all, my evenings were a lot more free.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sure you don't, but you used to do a great job booking.
I appreciate it.
So he kind of looked at me, and I didn't know for a minute. I was like, "Is he kind of trash talking me?" He looked at the sheet and he goes, "Oh, it's kind of light today. You didn't book.
And I forgot that Bob was coming in, so it makes sense.
So did I. I forgot I was coming. I was driving up here all night going, wait a minute, I got to go do radio.
Yeah. No, we're glad to have you, and it's going to be an awesome show. Even if it's just, but it's not all Trump, right? Your show.
Dude,
tell us a little bit about what other things.
He literally switches hats.
I just took my
on
hat
the
off.
radio.
I wear a lot of hats.
Yeah. Took his MAGA hat off and put his San Francisco Giants hat on.
I had to get into Bob DiBuono gear now.
Yeah.
My act is like every day, like characters in my family, and I'm physical. I like to play with the crowd. So I feel like when you're a comedian, I feel like the more you incorporate the audience, it's more personal. Like, you ever go to remember when you would go to a concert and see your favorite band and they would look up into the rafters where you're standing?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, they just looked at me. And then they would tell a story. You're like, oh my God, that story was just for us.
Yeah.
And I feel like I love doing crowd work in my act with material because it makes the crowd walk away. Because it's organic. It's not like it's all planned. And then they walk away feeling like that was for us. That little thing that happened in the middle of the show, that was for us. And I just like that, and I like being physical, and I like doing people I know, and just a lot of observational stuff. So it's a mixed bag, which I like, because a lot of times you go see someone headline, and it's after 15, 20 minutes, you kind of start picking up their pacing, and it's almost predictable, like what's coming.
Yeah.
And I like to be different. So
yeah, and the fact that you're genuinely funny, not just doing impressions, but adding the impressions into it is
there's a lot of guys. I never wanted to be the guy who did voices but didn't have a joke behind it, because then people would go, because that's what happens. You get the voice down, but then if you don't have a joke behind it,
right,
then it's like, well, that sounds good, but you're not saying anything funny.
Yeah.
So I always try to, for every character, write stuff that's like if I do a Dr. Phil thing, I'll do Dr. Phil when he's interviewing people on his show, and how he always. The little nuances of Dr. Phil. And so I'll make everything like little sketches, throughout my set.
Yeah. So I was going to say also the impression is so well done, but obviously as we interact here this morning and you're taking phone calls, you're popping in your comedic mind, your wit is just boom, it immediately surfaces. I mean, the hilarious.
Like Trump.
It was Bill had asked you a question before about. A guy from here, he's on NBC now, Ryan Nobles. And
right.
I call him not so Nobles. I mean, just boom, right off the tongue like that. That's what makes this impression, I think, the best out there. Not only is it the best sounding, but it's so damn funny every time you mock it.
I got a nice compliment when I did The View by Daryl Hammond, who was like a guest judge or whatever on the show. And the whole thing was just it was not really a contest. It was just playful. But he was like, you have his inner workings of his mind. You think like him.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you get a really good, when an actor gets a really good, gets really involved in his character, you really don't have to think anymore. You just do. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like you whatever it is. You could play, baseball, and you know how to throw a curve.
React,
it's just second nature. You don't think about it. Yeah. So that's how it kind of is with when you're doing impersonations.
I got to wrap things up, unfortunately. Bob DiBuono, Fat Cats Comedy Club this weekend. Get tickets at Fat Cats. I'm going to say it wrong again.
FatCatsComedy.com.
FatCatsComedyClub.com. Bill's going to kill me. Because I can't remember the website.
They should call it Fat Rosie's, to be honest with you. We're changing the name, by the way.
Yeah.
For that little jab, we'll do one more 4-pack. Again, Saturday, 9:15. If you want to see Bob DiBuono, he's absolutely hilarious. We'll just do caller. Did I say a caller? Do caller 2 right now. 736-0186. A couple of things I have to mention quickly. We have a chance to win $100 every hour, Monday through Friday. It's the WIBX 950 Win Cash code. And, of course, we are at the end of the week. So what I'm going to do right now is give you the 8 a.m. code. Stay listening to WIBX. I'll drop in with a 9 a.m. code during the next hour. But your 8 a.m. code is 312. 312. Enter that on our website at WIBX950.com. You win $100 each hour.
That would be nice.
Just for that.
And, of course, my obligatory plug to, if you have any buying or selling real estate needs, to contact me.
We already let you do that last time, so we're going to cut that. I'm just kidding. Of course, River Hills Properties. Andrew is a hard worker, works so hard for everybody. He still has tools in his home that he's borrowed from me to fix other people's properties that he hasn't brought back. So, well, we'll square up on that. Bob, thank you so much. You're awesome.
Thanks for having me, guys.
WIBX 950, Utica, Rome. It is 9 o'clock.
Jack Teixeira is just 21, a member of the Air National Guard in Massachusetts. Former Vice President Mike Pence just told Fox.
Like so many around the country, I continue to ask myself, how did a Massachusetts National Guardsman get access to this kind of classified and sensitive information and to be able to release it on the internet?
Teixeira worked specifically as an IT specialist for the Air National Guard. At the time, he held the highest level security clearance granted by the federal government. Those clearances were revoked, though, before he was taken into custody. Investigators say he uploaded top secret documents to the internet that he had with detailed maps from Ukraine and assessments of Russia's army, posting that sensitive information on the online messaging app Discord.
Fox's Alexis McAdams outside the courthouse in Boston. One of the leaks reportedly shows a Russian claim that China secretly agreed to send it weapons to use in Ukraine. But today,
China's foreign minister says its neutrality in the Russian invasion of Ukraine extends to its stance on weapons, saying the country would not sell arms to any party involved in the war.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. The entire Russian Pacific Fleet's been told to prepare for a massive show of force as the U.S. plays war games with the Philippines military in the South China Sea. Florida takes a step toward banning most abortions after about 6 weeks of a pregnancy.
It cleared the Republican-controlled legislature Thursday.
70 yeas, 40 nays, Mr. Speaker.
Show the bill passes. Hours later, Florida's 6-week Heartbeat Protection Act was signed into law by Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, expanding protections to unborn children, giving them full rights to life once a fetal heartbeat is detected. Critics of the law call it extreme and dangerous.
That's Fox's Jeff Monaski. We didn't do as much shopping last month. Retail sales fell down 1% from February, more than expected, coming off reports earlier in the week showing slowing inflation. America's listening to Fox News.
You know, our friends at Legacy Box, they make reclaiming your glory days as simple as 1, 2, 3. You can go around your house, your garage, your closet, and your attic, and guess what? You're going to find family photos and VHS tapes and camcorder tapes, and maybe even 8mm tapes. Look, the team at Legacy Box, they will hand digitize every single thing and they put it up on a cloud or send you a thumb drive.